Falco just coming off a nice pregame show with Alex Shee. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan hockey on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor and the Michigan Student Hockey Radio Network. As Michigan skates over to the net, they'll have a quick meeting right on the blue paint in front. Western as well. The Western Michigan Broncos wearing the all blacks with the gold striping tonight. Michigan in the home whites with the blue shorts. As the referees huddle at center ice, Western Michigan coming into this game at 2-1. Their only loss on the season was to a ranked number 20 Bowling Green team. They lost 6-2 back on October the 9th. Meanwhile, Michigan just played one regular season game so far against the Vermont Catamounts, a game that they dropped here at home a couple weeks ago. This just the second regular season game after Michigan played a couple exhibitions against some Canadian competition and the U.S. National Development Team. Trying to find their legs here, a team that is slated to be one of the favorites to make a deep run into the Frozen Four here this year, as Mel Pearson has put himself a squad together. And on the other side of the glass for Western Michigan is Andy Murray, the head coach of the Broncos. Both teams getting ready to set up here at center ice. The first lines are out. For the Broncos tonight on that first line, it'll be Passelt, Warad, and McMullen. Wolverines on the first line, Slaker, Norris, and Lockwood. Defensively, Quinn Hughes and Joe Ciccone for the Wolverines. Corey Schoeneman and Matthias Samuelson for Western. As the puck drops and we are underway, Western has the puck in the Michigan zone to start this one. As it rumbles around back to the end boards there, Western's going to have a little look in front, but nothing doing in the slot as it's knocked away there by Joe Ciccone. Wolverines working the puck up ice. Slaker's just going to fight that one down to the backboards, and we're going to have our first icing call of the game. Just 25 seconds in, we'll have the first stoppage at 19:35 here in the first period.
Yeah, good pressure from Western Michigan early on, something that the Wolverines struggled with early on. They only had their one regular season game, but also in both exhibitions haven't been quite as sound defensively as you would hope out of a team that has Frozen Four aspirations, as you mentioned earlier.
Wolverines win the faceoff in their defensive zone as it's pushed over to Slaker on the far side from us here. Now it's Ciccone, and he passes up to Will Lockwood, who gets a tap down deep, and it goes up and out of play for another stoppage. That will play to Western's favor tonight if they can get a lot of stoppages on the Wolverines, not allow them to get too much rhythm. This is a team that has a lot of up-ice movement, a lot of good pace. Western, meanwhile, not a big goal-scoring team, outscoring their opponents, though, 6-3 in the first period so far this season, as the Wolverines win the face-off at center ice. Nick Boca chasing back to the end boards. He goes up ice where it is gathered there by Brendan Warren, who's going up ice. He's got Morgan for a look, tried to get the deflection in front, but it goes up off the kick pad of the goalie, Trevor Gorsuch, and up and out of play.
Yeah, good little veteran presence there by Brendan Warren. A more passive player, a younger player, passes that off a little bit earlier. He saw a lane down the right side of the ice on the right side boards, drove the net, did his line mate Luke Morgan, the redshirt sophomore out of Brighton, Michigan, and a great little shot on net. Tried to go with that lower right pad, but a good save made by Kane.
As the faceoff is won by the Broncos in their defensive zone, so a pair of defensive zone faceoff wins for both sides. As we're going to have an offside, I believe, here against Western Michigan as they try to push up ice. And again, already our fourth stoppage here, not even a minute into this one. We're at 19:02 in the first period.
Yeah, like you mentioned, this is exactly how Western wants to play. They want to slow it down. They don't want to let the Wolverines get up ice. We already saw the one chance for the Wolverines thus far has been when they've been able to run a little bit and get out ahead of the Broncos.
Schoeneman dumps it in off the face-off win. A poor play back there for the Wolverines. It's Hayden Levine between the pipes tonight for the Maize and Blue. As Western will retain possession in the offensive zone, down on the left end boards there in a battle with Nick Boca as it comes back up to Samuelson. Samuelson goes back over to Schoeneman. Schoeneman takes a shot in, and it winds up in the end board. As Will Lockwood takes it away, and the Wolverines push up ice with possession. They've got Jake Slaker. They've got Lockwood. Lockwood takes it back at the top of the circle, cuts in, and is intercepted. A little scrum for it here in the neutral zone as the Wolverines fight it off, and they'll get a short line change there. One pair of fresh legs on the ice as well for Western Michigan, who recollects in their defensive zone.
Yeah, it was a good play by Western to get back on that last little break at the Wolverines' first line. Thought they might have numbers there for a second 3-on-2, but we're snuffed out.
Western trying to push up ice now. They've got Lawton Cornall heading up the right-hand side, but he is met there and intercepted by Luke Martin. As Michigan now takes the puck in the neutral zone. They've got Randall. He takes a shot. Goes right up off the board, save. Van Wy takes a little rip as well, goes wide to the right. As the puck comes back around Wolverines with a couple attempts towards the goal, but not on it. And a fight for it down back behind the net as Quinn Hughes has it down deep inside. That speedy defenseman, one of those top-tier talents here on the Michigan team. He goes coast to coast, Quinn Hughes does, and finally rips a little shot from the top of the circle, a nice wrister that is easily gloved there by Gorsuch. And we have another stoppage with 17-17 remaining in the first period. 0-0 here between the Wolverines and Western Michigan on 88.3 WCBN FM and the Michigan Student Hockey Radio Network.
Yeah, nothing really came of it that time, just a shot on goal, but just an idea of what a difference maker Quinn Hughes is. Went and got that puck down deep in the left corner, brought it all the way back out. His shot came from the right point. When you have a player like that on the team, really easy to generate offense and get a couple chances.
Big forechecking pressure there for the Wolverines, and a nice play down inside by Jake Becker as he's going to force Western to make an ugly pass up to the neutral zone that's intercepted. DiPietro, though, retakes possession for Western Michigan, gets it over to his teammate. Down inside there, that'll be Rushoff, as Rushoff tries to take a shot that bounces off and heads back towards the goalie, Gorsuch. Western looks for a little coast-to-coast pass to DiPietro. No good up the right-hand side where it's collected by Nick Boca for the Wolverines. He goes up to Brendan Warren up the left-hand side, fighting with Samuelson. They've also got Lambert in there for the Wolverines. Warren's going to win the puck. Still a scrum, 2-on-2. And we're going to have our first penalty of the game, it looks like, and it'll go against the Western Michigan Broncos on that battle up on the far boards. We'll see who they got it on. I think it looks like it's going to be Drew Warad, the first-line center for Western, as he's going to head to the box.
Yeah, it looked like maybe a little bit of a cross-check there right in the corner during the scrum. I didn't get the actual call.
Might have gotten him for that. Could have gotten him for maybe a slash. Couldn't quite tell. But the see you chant comes out. It's going to be 2 minutes in the box for Drew Warad. Michigan will go on their first power play of the game. The penalty kill for Western Michigan so far this season is 11 for 13. As Ciccone gets it off the faceoff, and a nice chance in front for Slaker. He can't find the back of the net. Western Michigan will clear, and Michigan will have to reset back in the defensive zone. It was a quick wrist shot from Ciccone at the point. Tried to find Slaker in front on the redirect, and Michigan will reset. Only 20 minutes gone here so far on the kill for Western. Norris gives it up to Quinn Hughes. Hughes crosses the line with it, close to an offside, and they do get him for the offside. A little bit of extracurricular activity up in the boards there between Quinn Hughes and Hugh McGing for Western Michigan.
Officially a hooking call there back on Warad.
Yep.
Put him in the box. But as mentioned, there's a lot of talent on this Wolverine team, a lot of offensive talent specifically, especially on this power play unit. I know they cashed in a couple times against Vermont. They're only 2 goals of that game. Looking to do so here, get out early, make all the difference against a Western Michigan team that would very much like to keep the score down. If you make them score, put some pressure on them early to score, could very much swing it into the Wolverines' favor.
Quinn Hughes is pushing up ice for the Wolverines as he crosses the blue line, where it's quickly fought off by Western, and Michigan again struggling to set up. They just had the one attempt so far here on the power play. We're almost a minute gone, 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining as it comes up ice with Norris. Norris takes a little hop around. Slaker trying to find it. It goes to Ciccone at the point. He goes back to Quinn Hughes on the left-hand circle. Hughes dumps it back off the boards over to Slaker. Back to Quinn Hughes again. He's still on that left circle, trying to find the right spot. He gets it over to Norris. Back to Ciccone on the right circle. Back to Hughes in the left. He goes looking for Will Lockwood in front. Would have had a nice opportunity had the pass been a little more accurate, but Western will clear it back to the neutral zone, and Michigan will have to push in again with Lockwood. Lockwood coming up the right-hand side, leaves it for Hughes. Hughes goes over to Slaker. Slaker tried to find that little back wrist pass over to Lockwood, who would have had a nice chance on the left-hand side. But instead it's cleared down, and now just 30 seconds remaining on the power play for Michigan.
That's a great play, great awareness there by Hugh McKing, intercepting that cross-ice pass. It would have been an absolutely gorgeous look for the Wolverines, probably a goal.
Nick Boca pushing up now after a quick change for the Wolverines. It goes for Becker in front, who takes a shot, and it meets a wall of Western bodies, but Nick Pastujov has it. Pastujov goes back to Boca on the left-hand circle. Wolverines have 4 seconds left on the power play, and that is going to do it as Western fights it off, and they also get the puck cleared, and now they're going to have a 2-on-1 opportunity. Warad trying to find his teammate, and the puck skates right across in front into the slot. Nothing doing. Some bodies fly behind the goal. Almost a rush opportunity for Western Michigan, but nothing doing. 0-0 game here. 1 penalty killed off, 14 minutes remaining in the first period.
That time it was Michigan's chance to intercept a cross-ice pass. Nick Boca getting back defensively.
Now Warad comes up ice for Western here on the near side boards, the left-hand side. As he goes back over, and a slap shot taken, almost got past the kick pad there of Hayden Levine. That one came all the way from back at the point, off the stick of Corey Schoeneman. Western still has possession in the offensive zone. Michigan trying to get a clear. Nick Pastujov finally gets it. Doesn't manage to clear it though. Lazy pass, giveaway almost created an opportunity. We've got a loose stick now as Pastujov goes flying. As Michigan's still struggling to clear the puck. Pastujov takes a nice hit into the boards. Looks like he rung the bell there on Schoeneman. And we are going to have a penalty on that one for boarding, I think.
Yeah, it came from the referee that farther back down the ice. I think it's the right call there. That was Nick Pastujov.
Yeah, Pastujov was thinking about maybe going for the puck. He opted not to, and he just took Schoeneman to task right up into the glass. Yeah. Schoeneman came up a little slowly there, but he's up and skating, having a word with the referee now.
Yeah, hard to argue against that one. As you mentioned, the puck was going back down near the boards. Pastujov, instead of going and playing the puck, playing the defenseman who ended up with the puck, went for Schoeneman. Got a nice hit on him. If it was clean, you would have heard the stadium probably give a little oohs and ahs off of that one, but
not too malicious.
It wasn't terribly malicious.
It'll just be a 2-minute minor.
Right.
As Pastujov will sit in the box, and after Western kills off their first penalty of the game, now Michigan's going to go to task. As we come out of a short break here, no television broadcast tonight. We're broadcasting live from the television booth here at Center Ice.
Nice and roomy.
Yeah, always appreciated. 1 level lower, a little bit closer to the center than normal. Makes everything a lot easier here on the broadcasting end. As we have a face-off in the Michigan defensive zone, won by the Wolverines, and Quinn Hughes will chuck it down the ice. As you will hear in the background, the whoop from the Wolverine faithful here in the Children of Yost.
Early on in the season last year, this was a unit for Michigan that really struggled to get going, especially against better teams, a ranked team such as Western Michigan is this year.
And there was a little play there from Quinn Hughes that makes him such a great player. Here on the penalty kill, gets the puck back in his own zone. Instead of just clearing it right away, he knows he's got the skills, dekes out of a couple of attackers, and then clears the puck away, burning about 10 more seconds off the power play. 1:20 left as a bad pass from the Broncos is going to have a one-on-one opportunity for Michigan, as there's going to be a little bit of movement up ice. Van Wy is moving, and now Michigan with almost forechecking pressure here, not allowing Western to get clear of their own ice.
Yeah, Van Wy and Raby now joining in, really took off another 10-15 seconds, just holding the puck up against the boards right behind the goal.
Now Raby's got to get back as DiPietro almost split the defenders, and now we've got a Russell tussle into the boards, and we're going to have some action.
Don't think we're going to get calls out of this. Levine came well out of the net to field that puck and cover it.
DiPietro came flying into him. First rule of hockey, don't touch my goalie. And they do, and it winds up in a scrum in the boards. Looks like major violence avoided.
Nothing
Norris and
malicious.
Boca really got in there. We got a hand around the neck. That's the only thing I think you might have gotten the call for, as down in the boards there. It might have been Raby who got in there at the very end and got his mitt around the neck there on Rushoff.
Dakota Raby, known to be one of those little feisty players. Not the biggest guy out there on the ice, just 5'9", 170, but he flies all over the place. Likes to get in those scrums. We saw him forechecking back there, gets in a scrum over here at the defense of his goalie, Hayden Levine.
Defensive faceoff won by Michigan and again cleared. We're halfway through the penalty kill for the Wolverines, 50 seconds remaining. 12 minutes remaining in the first period in total. As Western will take the puck and they'll reset. Slaker providing a little pressure in deep. Norris chasing over along with Martin as the Broncos come in on the far side boards. And Michigan wins it back again. And they're going to have a 2-on-2 chance as they come up ice. Norris sits back. He's got Luke Martin for a quick wrister that goes right into the breadbasket there on Gorsuch. But again, on the kill, Michigan produces a shorthanded opportunity. And it was a nice pass there, a good find by the Wolverines. Josh Norris cut in up on the near side boards, looked right back, dumped it off to Luke Martin, and he took a little wrister from the top circle. And now that'll force a face-off in the defensive zone for Western, who just have 23 seconds remaining on the Nick Pastioff power play. 11:39 remaining in the first period on WCBN, 88.3 FM in Ann Arbor, and the Michigan Student Hockey Radio Network. Face-off is won by the Wolverines in the offensive zone, and they're just going to skate backwards and kill off time. Hughes goes to Ciccone in back. They then pump it up to Van Wy in the neutral zone. Gives it away. Lee takes it for the Broncos. As that puck was looking for the skip pass over to Warad, it doesn't find him, goes up into the Michigan benches, and now Van Wy coming in after the play. We've got some shoving, some hands up into the masks. It looks like he was into it with Jade McMullen, the right winger for the Broncos. Might be mutual 2 minutes here.
They're sending them both off. The referee's going to try to get out ahead of this. It has been not the scrappiest game. We've definitely seen scrappier, definitely seen a little more physically intense games, but the referees don't want anything conspiring after the Pastioff hit, a little scrum behind Hayden Levine earlier. They're going to try to get out in front here, try to minimize whatever after-play scrums are going on right now, so you don't have to worry about bigger deals later on with headshots coming from one team or the other.
So Van Wy and McMullen are both in the box now for offsetting penalties. And we'll play 4-on-4 hockey.
Not quite yet. I've got 8 seconds
Or should I say 4-on-3 for a second?
Western was late getting the guy in there.
5-on-4. 8 seconds left on the kill for the Wolverines. Looks like they're going to be able to do it here as they win the faceoff, and that should end it. As Pastioff will come out of the box here in 2-1 as the puck is down deep in the Western zone. He does get off, heads right back to the bench, is going to try and get the switch off while Michigan has the puck down in the offensive zone. They do. Ciccone now back for it for the Wolverines as he dumps it up, where it's taken at the blue line by Conrad for Western as he throws it in, misses McGing, and it'll go back for an icing call. Bring it back here with 11 minutes even in the first period. We've got a scoreless game between number 11 Michigan, number 19 Western on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor and the Michigan Student Hockey Radio Network.
Yeah, the Wolverines on that power play, or rather on a penalty kill, doing something that wasn't always present on the PK last year for the Wolverines, and that's attack the blue line. Don't make the entry easy. Put some pressure on those guys trying to get in as Michigan wins the offensive zone draw here. And a
big slapper at the point from Quinn Hughes. Eluded Gorsuch for a minute, but he got a pad to it as Michigan takes another chance with the other Pastioff brother coming in, passes it off, and they take a shot from the slot that goes up and out of play. 10:50 remaining in the first.
Another example of having an offensive weapon like Quinn Hughes on your team. Such a quick shot there right off the faceoff. You can drop plays up for a guy like that, and
he's got good power. Pastioff wins the faceoff for Michigan as Ciccone takes a little wrister inside, tries to find a redirect, can't get Lambert in front. Michigan still has the puck down on the near side boards. Now passed over to the far side, but able to clear is Western. Pastioff down into the corner for it. Both Pastioff brothers out on the ice now. As Ciccone fighting. Western wrapping around the side here, looking for an outlet pass as Paul Cotter, the Vegas Golden Knights pick, and now looking for a wraparound in front for Western and unable to get it. As the puck goes to the far side boards, Michigan's going to clear. Little skip pass over to Bennett here on the left side as Western re-enters with Washi. Washi is intercepted by Quinn Hughes. Tried to fight it off there. Ugly pass, still finds its way. Michigan will dump and change. Luke Morgan down there for Michigan.
I think Jack Becker's going to get a hooking call here.
Would appear the case with the arm up here, but Cutter's got a chance in front. It escapes, bounces right in front of Levine, and the Wolverines avoid trouble on a 2-on-2 that quickly became a 2-on-1. But as you said, the delayed penalty was waiting down on the other end of the ice, so the second the Wolverines touch, we get a whistle, 9:44. And you are right. Going to be Jack Becker, heading to the box. 2 minutes for the Wolverines, and this is going to be their second penalty of the first period.
That Becker and Pastioff's line, the brothers Nick and Michael, they were all put together last year about mid-season by Mel Pearson. Ended up being an extremely good line for them down the stretch and into the tournaments. Extremely good specifically at the forecheck. If Michigan needed to kind of shift momentum, really put some pressure on a defense. This was a line you could throw out and reasonably expect to get that opposing team back on their heels. Unfortunately for the Wolverines, they played the entirety of their shift just about in their own defensive zone where they're sound, but that's not their strength. And Jack Becker, perhaps knowing that is his strength on the forecheck, was out there a little bit longer than he needed to be. Had a chance to get off when the rest of the line and the defensemen both got off for the Wolverines after dumping it in. Didn't do so. Looked a little bit tired chasing around some Broncos. Ended up just getting a little sloppy there and picked up the hooking call.
Just had the veteran salute of the game here as well at Yost Arena. U.S. Marine Corps Sergeant Radke. Shout out to the troops as we are about to get underway here again with 9:44 remaining in the first period. Michigan now on their second kill of the first period. We are knotted up at 0. Becker is the one sitting in the box right now. Michigan wins the faceoff in the defensive zone, trying to get it out, and a fight between DiPietro and Morgan winds up with a Western repossession, and Cotter takes a shot. That one goes wide. Over to the left-hand side. It's back to Schooneman at the point for Western as they set, and they'll cycle. DiPietro back to Schooneman, knocked down by Warren. Quick shot again by Cotter, found by Levine as Michigan is able to clear. Nice job there from Nick Boca. Michigan will change their line out as Schooneman takes it back behind his own net and resets DiPietro. A bad giveaway there as Lockwood has it now. Luckily, Lockwood had his back turned, so it was hard to get back into play. And then a rough pass again, as now Lockwood's got a chance as he crosses the blue line. He's got Warren on the right-hand side, takes the shot up high, just over the bar. He beat the glove, couldn't beat the iron.
Sloppy play by the Western Michigan Broncos here. Turnover in your own zone, and then can't handle the puck in the offensive zone after it looked like they were going to have numbers, maybe 3-on-2 on the power play here. Just couldn't locate the puck. Michigan very aware. Lockwood all over the ice, flying across the neutral zone, both sides. Had a chance right there, as you mentioned, just shot a little bit high and wide. Had Gorish beat.
Jack Summers on the ice for his first action here in the first period. 1:08 remaining on the kill for the Wolverines. They've got a face-off in the offensive zone, though, trying to extend some time off the clock here. Dakota Raby's got it off the face-off win. As now the Broncos come up ice. McGing, he goes over, looking for the far pass on the side there to Passolt. Couldn't find him. Passolt, the big danger man for the Broncos, the leading scorer so far. He's got 2 on the season through 3 games. 49 seconds remaining on the power play for Western. Michigan a little bit closer to killing it off as they continue that pressure in there. As Van Wy is back out of the box and in there on the pressure. Passolt taking his time. He digs back, looking for a pass, is intercepted by Hughes, who dumps it in deep.
That's just phenomenal stick work by Quinn Hughes. You expect at this point, but flying by, just trying to check his man. Saw the loose puck, picked it up a little bit behind him, was able to turn around, fling it down across the ice.
Quinn Hughes has the puck for Michigan as they come up ice. 17 seconds remaining, but now Michigan's cycling, trying to find a redirect in front, looking for Brendan Warren. He tried to get a little kick off the back of the stick and couldn't find it in the slot. Ooh, big hit at center ice on Randall, laid out there by Conrad of Western Michigan. As now the Broncos come up into the offensive zone, trying to fight it off. Power play is over. Michigan kills off 2 now here in the first period. Western's killed off 1, 0 for 3 combined between the 2 teams on the man advantage. The puck is deep in Michigan's own zone. As they fight off, win it back. They've got the legs back out on the ice that they want now. Quick switch out as Brendan Warren hits the bench. Quinn Hughes will take a second, skate around, get reset. He's got Ciccone to his left, but he goes up to Pastujov, who makes a nice cut back and skates up ice. He beat Galot on the side there. Looking for somebody in front and cannot find him was Pastujov. As Boca's got it, clean in play. Nice keep there by Becker. As Michigan is in the offensive zone down in the right corner.
And here's that chance for that Pastujov and Becker line to get on the forecheck, and as I say that, we get an offsides.
Offside call there is going to bring it back at 6:54 remaining in the first period. Knotted up at 0, 88.3 WCBN FM. WCBN sports coverage of Michigan men's hockey on the Michigan Hockey Student Radio Network.
Yeah, that Becker and Pastujov line, after Becker came out of the box, Coach Mel Pearson decided to throw both the Pastujov brothers back out there with him after another solid kill for the Wolverines. Couple more chances for the Broncos that time. They weren't quite as tight when it came to the entry passes, but another chance back for Warren on that one, actually. Warren and Randall, seemingly a great pair of forwards on the penalty kill for the Wolverines early on.
Wolverines have the puck in the neutral zone as they push forward with Norris, trying to find Lockwood over on the right-hand side. Puck bounces away off the boards and in deep. DiPietro giving chase for Western, but it's going to be an icing call. DiPietro thinks it got a touch, but it'll go against him this time, and he's going to give his mind to the officials as it'll come all the way back.
You can see that sarcastic smile on his face from all the way up over here.
Couldn't quite see if he got a piece of it down on the near side boards here right at the blue line, as he claimed. Either way, the icing call will stand. It'll come back down to the left side circle here for the faceoff for the Wolverines as they keep it. Goes to Boca at the point as he goes back to Slaker. Slaker working the right-hand side, trying to find Lockwood, pass intercepted. Michigan has had a lot of those close opportunities as the puck will come all the way back down off the bounce, and another icing will bring it right back. But they've had the looks. They just haven't quite gotten the passes there. Western doing a good job of cutting the lane at the last second so far here in the first period.
Western almost playing a little bit like the classic Michigan State style over the past few years with Tom Anastas as the head coach, where they pack it in tight as soon as the Wolverines get any semblance of an offense going, cut away any passing lanes near the front of the net.
Faceoff is won by the Wolverines, but quickly brought back by Western and sent down ice, where it'll be gathered in there by Luke Martin, as Lambert has it now, and he goes to Brendan Warren up at the blue line. Warren lays a hit on Samuelson, but Western still comes away with the puck. Trying to find Samuelson on the cross ice pass there. Unable to do so as the puck is back behind the net in the Michigan zone. Wolverines fighting for it. A pair of white jerseys, a pair of black jerseys down in the left corner. Blackenberg wins it out for the Wolverines, a name we haven't called too much tonight.
I think it's his first action out there.
Saw him maybe on a shift or two earlier, but didn't really do much. And he won't have much time as he comes right back off on the change here with the puck now deep in the Western zone. Will Lockwood trying to find in front, turned to nothing into something play as he tried to find Slaker in front. Lockwood now has it back at the point, cycling around. Lockwood takes it deep, comes up the left-hand side, tries to find the wrister up over the left corner, can't do it. And now Western's going to have a one-on-one opportunity coming up against Hughes. Frank tries to dip a little wrist shot in there on the left-hand side as well, but it finds the pads of Hayden Levine. Frank has it again. Takes a turnaround, shot in the left-hand circle, score Western. Off the rebound, it was Frank with the initial shot, and then coming back in the left-hand circle for the Broncos is McGing, and he'll get credit for the first goal of the night as Western goes up 1-0 here with 5 minutes remaining in the first period.
Yeah, a little bit of a puck bouncing around in the offensive zone for the Broncos. I think it was 2 or 3 Wolverines left their feet trying to corral the puck, just slipping and sliding a little bit right in front of Hayden Levine. Ended up Western with a chance. Levine was able to make the first stop, but based on the redirect, which he's been a little bit sloppy with rebounds, hard to fault him for that one, just muscling that one away from a relatively point-blank shot. The rebound was...
Saccone fell down as well behind the play, so trying to get back. So
I saw 3. I couldn't quite pinpoint which one. You had Saccone, you had Hughes, you had Slaker all out there at the same time. Didn't want to call out the wrong player quite there. But.
And now Michigan again in a hole. Western continuing its trend of outscoring opponents in the first period. They're now 7-3 on the season in the first. And with 4:53 remaining, we have a stoppage in play off the faceoff. It's 1-0 Western here on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor and the Michigan Student Hockey Radio Network. As we'll bring it back to center ice for another faceoff. Van Wy wins it this time as he goes back to Griffin Luce, another name that has been off the sheet so far tonight. They get it up to Van Wy. He goes across the blue line, is intercepted there. Western takes advantage. Bad pass. Van Wy keeps it in play in the offensive zone for Michigan, as Bafio was the one trying to keep it out of his own zone. Unable to do so. Western now fights up ice again. Another lazy pass and a keep in on the poke by Boca, but it goes right to a Western jersey. Conrad, the one that chases Griffin Luce back down into Michigan zone. A couple of changes here for both sides. Fight at the Western blue line. Lee comes out for it for the Broncos. Van Wy gives him a hit. Then coming back around, almost a nice spinorama pass to find an open opportunity on the far side there. That's really good effort from Passolt, as Passolt has it behind the net now.
Yeah, I didn't think there was a lane there, but he found it.
Bad pass for Western, trying to find McMullen at the point. It goes wide. That'll allow Michigan to get a wholesale change here. Gonna have to run back, though, as the puck comes close back in towards the net. Becker's fighting for it down in the left-hand boards as it comes out for Blackenberg. Moving back around, Summers now in the play for the Wolverines. Luke Martin hands it up to Pastujov. Pastujov coming up ice. He's got a 2-on-2, almost takes a quick wrist shot. Really nice handwork there from Pastujov as that one goes wide right.
That was a 2-on-2, both Pastujov brothers trying to get something going there, just couldn't quite connect.
Pastujov lost his stick there in the offensive zone, down on the ice. Summers now has it in the neutral zone for Michigan. That's going to be a delayed penalty, you would think, and it is. The hand went up a little bit late. I think that's going to be a tripping penalty here against Western Michigan, and he knew it right away. He's already in the box, heading over there is Rushoff.
Yeah, just right outside ice. Really nothing you can do on that one. He was trying to play the puck, just got caught up. I believe it was Jack Summers there in the middle of the ice trying to play the puck. I could be wrong, but it's just a poor fate, poor bounce there for Rushoff. Again, just trying to make a play on the puck. Summers was coming one way, he was going the other. Summers was the one that got to the puck first and ended up with a tripping call. The Wolverines will try to even this up on the power play. And
so down in the huddle here on the benches before we have the penalty, the assistant coach, Bill Muckalt, talking with the Wolverines, trying to draw up a plan to get back even in this game. They're down 1-0 after the goal for Western Michigan that came off the stick there.
And call me crazy, but I feel like this power play is going to run through Quinn Hughes. With the struggles the Wolverines have had early on, obviously only 0-1 officially on the season, you want to get as much as you possibly can. You don't normally see a power play run through a defenseman, but when you have an offensive talent like Hughes on the team, hard not to go to him here.
Western wins the faceoff, and they're going to get an immediate clear all the way up over the goal, down to the glass on the near end. Sacconi's got it back there for the Wolverines to set up. They've got 1:46 on the man advantage as Sacconi pushes up center ice himself, then dumps it back, but Hughes wasn't ready for it, and that's going to waste a little more time. Hughes also loses the puck in a bad spot, and Kortenwall coming back up for Western, but Hughes able to fight it off, was trying to do a little too much there with nobody on him. Puck is finally deep again into the Western zone, but they're going to be able to clear it again.
That puck was bounced a little bit on Hughes, and he tried to get going before he really corralled it and almost gave Western a golden scoring chance.
And almost a minute has been burned with no chances for Michigan here. Not what they're looking for, down a goal. 1:05 as they cut up through the neutral zone. Look for Lockwood on the far side, bounces up off the boards and in deep. Western's going to get a stick to it right away again, and Sacconi just has his stick in the wrong place. You know he's going to play it up off the boards, but had his stick on the inside. And Sacconi will go back and chase.
And just not able to get anything going. It seems like the Wolverines are all on a different page right now. Not something you want to see when you have the man advantage trying to tie it up.
1:50 remaining here in the first period. 36 seconds remaining on the power play. Pastujov looking for maybe a little wraparound opportunity back behind the net. Can't find it. He goes back. Boca has it on the right-hand side now. He takes a shot inside, trying to find the redirect. Pastujov score!
And that play was arguably made by Jack Becker standing right in front of Gorish. Gorish, first of all, I don't even know if he saw that first shot from Boca. He was able to get a pad on it, but I think it might have been a little bit of luck. Bounced straight to Nick Pastujov right on the right side of the goal and had nothing but net, and he capitalized.
A power play that did nothing for about 1:30. And with 26 seconds remaining on the power play, the Wolverines get the shot in from Boca. Becker with the blocking on the vision for Gorsuch, and the redirect rebound right inside there for Nick Pastujov, as we are even at one apiece here with 1:31 remaining in the first period. Give the assist there to Boca. 1-1 Michigan and Western Michigan. You're listening to Michigan Hockey on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor and the Michigan Student Hockey Radio Network.
And it was that line we talked about earlier that Becker and Pastujov's extremely good at forechecking. Got the puck in and able to get some pressure, starting off by forechecking behind the net of the Broncos.
Western with a quick opportunity right off there. Levine was caught off the side. We're going to have a penalty as some players go crashing down on the left-hand side, and Boca is down hurt. Boca very slow to get up as he's on his knees back in the corner.
Yeah, he went crashing hard into the corner there.
And it's going to go against Michigan.
Brendan Warren trying to back check, just picked up a holding call. I didn't catch which Bronco had the scoring chance, but if it wasn't for the holding call, very much could have been 2-1 Western.
They had a 3-on-2 coming pretty much right out of the face-off there. And now they're going to have their third power play of the first period. Michigan has killed off both so far. Western's goal coming at full strength. They win the face-off. It goes to Schoenemann. Schoenemann goes back over on the right-hand side. Frank, shot, score. From the top of the circle, 5 seconds into the power play, wrist shot, score, 2-1 Western.
And like Becker played the role for the Wolverines on their goal of screening out in front, it was Rushoff standing smack dab in front of Hayden Levine. I don't think Levine saw that till it was ready too late and over his shoulder. Frank found that top corner, beat him glove side, but Rushoff just absolutely a monster standing out there, 6'7", 230. Hard to see around him, and leads to a Western Michigan goal. Put him up, as you said, 2-1, just a minute left to play.
Goal at exactly 19 minutes here in the first period for Ethan Frank. Give the assist to Corey Schoenemann, and it's 2-1 Western, 51 seconds after Michigan scores their first goal of the night. It is back to a one-goal Western advantage. Michigan's got 47 seconds left here to try and make something happen. Right now the puck's stuck down deep in their own zone. Fight for it in the corner. Quinn Hughes wins out. Slaker's got it pushing up ice. Slaker goes to Lockwood. Lockwood brings it in onside. Looking right in front, trying to find it with Slaker as he goes sliding across the slot. And Western will regain possession. Michigan trying to keep it in. Ciccone got a touch but couldn't quite keep it. And now a 2-on-1 opportunity for Western. A shot chance in front. Great pad save there from Hayden Levine. Trying to get it on the far side was Josh Passolt, but he couldn't beat the waffle board. Michigan's got a chance with 10 seconds remaining here. Puck down deep in the Western zone. Broncos will take it up ice. Pretty lackadaisical here for Michigan, and skating right by is McGing. One-on-one opportunity, stonewall save Hayden Levine, and that's period. Not sure what the play was there right at the end for the Wolverines. They seemed like they were ready to just hear the horn and get to the locker room, and McGing had a one-on-one opportunity. Ciccone, the captain of the team, blown right by like a barn on the side of the road.
And when the Wolverines have struggled in this game so far, it has been on plays exactly like that. Slow getting back, whether it's defensemen, whether it's forwards slow getting back after forechecking and not coming up successful. Mel Pearson looks a little befuddled talking to his coaches. I'd imagine he is not very happy at all, especially with that last play.
That was just the last minute after Western scored the second goal. Just terrible effort by the Wolverines. They just had one-track mindset of getting into the locker room, and that's what they're going to do now. They're down a goal, 2-1. Goals in the first period. The opening goal, credit to McGing, who almost got his second there a moment ago. And then Michigan ties it up off the stick of Nick Pastujov. And then with a minute to go, 51 seconds after the Michigan goal, Ethan Frank puts it away for a 2-1 Western lead. 2-1 your score here. We've got about 15 minutes here on the intermission here on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor and the Michigan Student Hockey Radio Network. For your intermission show, I'm going to hand it back off to Alex Shee and Austin Falco. We'll see you right back here again for the second period in 15 minutes. Again, you're listening to Michigan Hockey on WCBN Sports.
Yeah, take a break there, JP. Rest those golden pipes. We'll see you again back at the start of the second. Bring in Alex Shee here. And Alex, you were sitting there watching that first period, watching that lackadaisical effort that we just talked about at the end of that first period by the Wolverines after tying it up. Just looked sloppy, and at times during the period, again, sloppy I feel like was the word to describe it. At times,
I'm not sure if watching that game is the right word to use. I was shaking my head during that game. Ugh, that was horrible. Ridiculously terrible effort by the Wolverines right there. I mean, there was no heart, there was no hustle. They're skating around like they're with a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off. Their spacing is terrible. They're running into each other. They're passing it to nobody. There's nobody in front of the net. Absolutely terrible period by Michigan. And to Western Michigan's credit, they are outworking the Wolverines. They are bullying them around. They are pushing them. They're out toughening them. They're out skating them. They're outscoring them. It's 2-1 right now. It should be 4-0, honestly. Really poor effort and seemingly no strategy for the Wolverines. They're just skating around out there. They're not trying to dump and chase. They're not trying to toughen their way to the net. They're just skating around hoping for something good to happen. I think a good example of this is Will Lockwood had a pretty good opportunity. He had the puck about to the top of the circles in the zone. There was wide space around him. He could have gone around the net. He could have skated wherever. He could have passed. What did he could have waited, see what happens. What did he do? He tried to deke out somebody. He tried to get really cute, try and make a fancy move. He did, and he got a shot, but that's not a high opportunity. That's not a high percentage shot. That probably wouldn't have gone in, you know. Even if you're playing against the world's worst goalie, that's still not the greatest chance to go in, that backhand shot. Michigan needs to skate around and make something happen. They're kind of standing still in the zone. They're not keeping their heads up. They got out-hit. They got completely tossed around. And instead of, you know, trying to realize that Michigan State's bullying them, pick their heads up, skate a little more, put that effort in and make a nice play, they're just trying to retaliate, just kind of blindly hit back, and their hits are mistimed. It's ugly. It's really ugly, and why this shouldn't be a cause of concern. You know, it's the third game of the season, but Michigan has done this now 2 times before this. Just terrible, terrible games. So I'm starting to get a little concerned about these guys. They look like a team that made the Final Four last year and said, you know what, we're playing Western Michigan. They're bad. They're not as good as us, so we don't need to try. We're going to win this game.
Not the attitude at all you want coming in, and I'm sure Mel Pearson will be definitely addressing that back in the locker room. But yeah, I think you pretty much nailed it. Everything was just about spot on, as you were talking about. The Wolverines don't look like there's any real communication, not on the same page at all across the board. You brought up specifically the Will Lockwood play. That first line has played well. Norris out here has won 7 of his 13 faceoffs, leads the Wolverines to a 16-9 faceoff advantage. They're getting control of the puck early on. They just don't know what to do with it and can't quite control it. And beyond just not quite being on the same page, not quite connecting on passes, the offense looking a little bit sloppy. It's just been sloppy puck handling just in general. We saw at one point in the last period on the power play, the Wolverines ended up scoring on twice by both of the defensemen, Ciccone and Quinn Hughes. The puck was lost in their own defensive zone. Second one almost led to a great Western Michigan chance. Just sloppy play, sloppy puck handling. Not something the Wolverines can keep up if they want to win this game. They're down 2-1. That late goal right after you scored, you got all the momentum, tied it up on the power play. Even though it wasn't the greatest power play, you still found a way to get a goal. Immediately go on the penalty kill and give up a goal. It's deflating. Yost Ice Arena, one of the best venues in college. It'll get loud if you give them a reason to get loud. They will help you. They'll push you. Get the momentum back in it, as we saw the Wolverines tied it up. But when you play like they did in the first period, it's really hard for the fans to really get behind you.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to get behind right now. One thing I want to bring up here, Falco, is the net presence and the lack of net presence for the Wolverines. That first goal they got, Jack Becker, I'm a big Becker guy. I think he's, in terms of what he's got and what he makes out of it, I think he's the Wolverine that consistently puts the best effort out there on the ice, game in and game out, does the most to help his team. I mean, he's not the most talented guy out there by far. Josh Norris has more talent than him, Slaker, Lockwood, Hughes, so many people are more talented. But what makes Becker so effective is he has a great net presence. He's always in the right spot at the right time. And how does he get there? He doesn't outskate someone or try and be fancy. He parks himself in front of the net, behind the net, wherever, gets in the dirty positions, uses his strength to push people aside, to make space for himself. He earns everything he gets out there on the ice. And he earned that goal. Even though it was Pastiev that got the goal, that was all because of Becker pushing guys out of the way, making space for himself, getting the deflection so that the goalie couldn't see it, gave up a nice, juicy rebound to Pastiev, who bangs home the easy goal. That doesn't happen if Becker isn't in front of the net. Now, on the other side, the defensive side, I could have gone up to the net and scored a goal on Levine. I mean, there's no defenders right there. There was an instance where Jack Summers, the freshman, and, cut him some slack, he's a freshman, but absolutely did not pick up a defender in front of the net. A forward in front of the net, and thank God Western Michigan didn't score. But they literally had a shot, somebody blocking Hayden Levine, and no defenders right that. That's a goal almost every time in hockey. 9 times out of 10. They're lucky they got the 1 time out of 10 where it wasn't a goal. But, wow, there was really a lack of net presence, and that's what tough teams do. That's why Michigan did well at the end of the season. Michigan, their vaunted run DMC line could score from anywhere on the ice, but the reason they made it to that Final Four was they could score on every line, and they were getting the dirty goals. That's how you win hockey games. You don't win every hockey game by out-skating somebody, going on a nice transition goal. That's nice, and that's what talented players do. That's what Michigan can do. But when things aren't going right, you have to score the dirty goals. You have to get in the corners. You have to get in front of the net. You have to be strong. And they're not doing that at all right now. Jack Becker did that. They had a power play, and that's why it's 2-1 and not 2-0 right now. But boy, do these Wolverines need to get back to their old ways, because you lose too many of these easier games early on, and you're going to get left behind quickly in the Big Ten. I mean, they have a tough schedule. It seems like every week Michigan's going to play a top 10 team in the nation. If they play any of those teams the way they're playing Western Michigan tonight, forget about it. They're not even going to make the tournament.
Yeah, you mentioned the Big Ten schedule. Huge challenge coming up, and part of the reason the Wolverines were so good last year, like you said, they're grinding out goals on all four lines. It seems a little bit of a stretch to say your fourth line is what transformed the team, but the team took a noticeable uptick once the line that's now up to the second line right now, the Pastures, Michael and Nick, and Jack Becker, were put together by Coach Mel Pearson. They have the ability, as we already saw on the power play here, scoring that goal, to change the game for the Wolverines because they're so relentless. They get down and dirty. They will fight for every single puck, whether it's in the offensive zone, the defensive zone. They'll get in some scrums in the neutral zone. They're willing to go to places that some of these Wolverines either are not willing to go or just don't go often enough. Those are the small things that won't necessarily come up on the stat sheet all the time. For this line so far this year, that was Nick Pastures' second goal. Becker picked up an assist on that goal for screening out in front. Michael Pastures also had an assist back on his brother's goal. It doesn't always show up on the stat sheet, though. But they're doing the things that it takes to win games.
Yeah,
they're doing exactly what you've talked about.
I like the second line a lot. Pastures and Pastures, again, like Becker, clearly not the most talented guys on the ice. Sometimes they're not the most smartest players on the ice, too. They don't make the smartest plays. Sometimes they even run into each other. But they're scrappy, and they're a team that right now, when you're getting pushed around, you need to rely on these guys to be spark plugs to get your team going. And when I say that, it's not like the NHL where you have a goon. You say, go out there and get us energized. Go hit somebody. Go cause a fight. No, that's not the college game. These guys will be relentless in their pursuit of the puck. If I'm Don Brown right now, I'm picking Pastures, and Jack Becker to be my defensive line. These guys are dudes. They're tough. They're scrappy. They're aggressive They're aggressive. Their work rate, offensively and defensively, is by far higher than anywhere else on the team. If Michigan wins, it's going to be one of these three players that gets the game puck. I mean, so far this season, they've been the most consistent line, these three. They've been the most consistent players, and they've been able to rely on them to get chances and opportunities. You look at that Norris, Slaker, and Lockwood line as the potential replacement for the DMC line. They're not anywhere close right now. These are the three most talented forwards on Michigan's lineup. They are the three best players, smartest, most potential, most skill. They got the whole package, but they're just not playing well together. They're not quite meshing like we would like, and they're not doing the dirty things that you need to win hockey games. Maybe they can pull off a couple cool plays, but they really need to get it going. They need to follow suit of this second line behind them. If I'm Mel Pearson, I'm making a statement. I'm starting this second line off for the second period. I mean, they seem to want it tonight, and again, it's a matter of wanting it. I mean, this was an incredibly successful team last year. They finished the year one of the top 4 teams in the entire country, and they seem to be relying on that too much. It's like, we're number 4 in the country. We're faster than them. We're smarter than them. We're more talented than them. And no, that's not getting them anywhere right now. Something needs to change, because now this is the 4th game where it's the same story all over again. Michigan is not playing well, and there's too much talent on this team to do this. It'd be one thing if you're playing like this in your Western, if you're another team at the end of the conference, but Michigan, it pains me so much because Michigan has so much talent, so much potential, and they're not getting anywhere near what they should be getting out of it.
By all means, Western Michigan, not a bad team. Coming into this one ranked number 18th overall. They are a solid team, solid coaching. They play very fundamentally sound, and they showed it here in the first period. That's been the difference thus far. Michigan is clearly the more talented team. When Slaker and Lockwood and Norris are on the same page, they've been on the same page for a shift or two. When they're on the same page in the offensive zone, extremely hard to stop. In Madison last year against a ranked Wisconsin team, they went in there. Slaker and Lockwood single-handedly took over a game, kept the Wolverines in it, and won it. in a shootout. They have the talent on that first line, as you said, to go and take over a game if they can just get on the same page. If they can get out there, get their minds in the right state, they can take over the game in a way that we've seen, coincidentally, as you mentioned, not the most talented line of the past Yost and Becker. They've been able to take over a game. They've been able to take over shifts just by playing relentless hockey on both ends of the ice. And I know we're kind of hammering the same point here over and over and over again, but Michigan needs more of that coming out in the second period. I completely agree with you. The past Yost and Becker should be out there at the very least to prove a point, if not to set the tone early on in the second period about the way Michigan wants to play, not only in this game, but throughout the season. It's been too much of a trend of coming out sloppy, coming out slow, not looking very good, despite being one of the more talented teams in the country. Are we expecting another Frozen Four run? Not necessarily. It's hockey. Pucks bounce crazy ways, even if you're extremely talented. Heck, Michigan wasn't even picked to win the Big Ten this year. In the preseason polls, they were picked second by the coaches. It's not assumed that this team is going to be at the top, but they're playing like they assume that they should be. And so far this season, haven't given much of a reason to think so. So we'll see if the Wolverines can turn it around here in the second period. Maybe spark something. You need to come out with the win here against a ranked opponent at home. It's one of two games. After this one, they go and travel over to Kalamazoo. I believe that's on Sunday. A little home and home series, or rather tomorrow. Tomorrow night, they go to Kalamazoo for the home and home. You don't want to drop the home half of your home and home. When you are in your own building, you have to defend it against the ranked team. You can't afford to fall too far behind. Granted, you can make up time in the pairwise rankings, but at some point, it's just a matter of knowing you can compete on the level of other ranked teams, like even a Western Michigan, even though they aren't the highest ranked. They're not the best team Michigan's going to face this season. But if you're struggling with Western Michigan, that Big Ten slate looks a whole lot more intimidating.
Yeah, I mean, you really said it, Austin. Now, second period's about to start. I really think a key to the Wolverines to get the goals they need. I mean, they need a goal right now. You don't want to have to go into the third period losing in your own house. And one way I think the Wolverines really can get a lot of goals is their best offensive player, who isn't even an offensive player. It's Quinn Hughes. Whenever he has the puck,
he's offensive.
Whenever he has the puck, it looks like an ISO offensive basketball. Everyone's just standing around, letting him do this thing. No. When Quinn Hughes has the puck, he draws multiple players. You know he's going to beat his guy. And when that happens, you need to be in the right position so that Quinn Hughes can dump it off and get an easy goal. They're not doing that right now. And the potential for goals right now, whenever Quinn Hughes has the puck, shoots way up. They have so many opportunities just by virtue of him having the puck in the offensive zone. They're not doing enough with that right now. And if they can move around a little bit more, Quinn Hughes maybe can pass it, get the puck moving around. It's going to be too hard for the defenders to focus on Quinn Hughes, focus on someone else. If they can bully the defense, get opportunities in front of the net, be a presence, then it makes life a lot easier for Quinn Hughes, and he's going to make the play happen.
All right, Jeremy Parks back here with Alex Shee for the second period, ready to get underway with Western Michigan leading 2-1 here on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor, the Michigan Student Hockey Radio Network. As the puck drops and Michigan will win the faceoff, they have their first chance inside the Western zone, but Western wins back out and heads up ice on the left-hand side. Takes a shot blocked up off the stick of Levine and out of play at 19:43 remaining here in the period, another stoppage.
Yeah, the first line is out there again, Norris, Slaker, and Lockwood. They're coming off the ice right now, but Pearson pulling them after just 17 seconds on the ice. They really need to show something right here. They're the best skaters in this game. They're some of the best forwards in the country. They really need to step up.
Defensive zone faceoff won by the Wolverines as Quinn Hughes runs up ice. He gets it over to Becker. Becker coming up the right-hand side. He dumps it in behind the net. Finds Hughes back on the other side. As Hughes is dancing around, finds Becker, takes a shot from the top of the circle. Another shot, rebound from Becker. That one goes up high and into the glass. Bounces back, Michigan retains possession. Puck goes flying over on the far-hand side from us. The right-hand side for the Wolverines attacking and up and out of play.
And that's a really good shift from Michigan. That's what you want to see, a nice D-zone face-off win. They transition quickly with Quinn Hughes, and then Becker and Pastujov do a great job of getting in front of that net, playing in the middle of the ice where they can get high percentage shots. And Becker had 2 good opportunities right there.
Morgan's going to take the faceoff for the Wolverines. In the faceoff circle for Western is Paul Cotter, the Vegas draftee. Western wins out as they throw an up-ice pass to Rushoff. Rushoff has a one-on-one opportunity up the right-hand side. He takes the shot early before he gets cut off by Boca, and it goes right into the chest of Hayden Levine for the save.
Now that's not the worst thing in the world, because Michigan back-checked pretty well right there. There's no opportunity for Western to score. If they're having a point-blank shot on Levine, that's how you score on him. But I'm trusting my man in net if I'm Pearson, and Levine's not letting those ones in.
Rushoff, not the fastest skater on the ice, but he is by a couple of inches the tallest man on the ice at 6'7" tonight. He's 2 inches shy of Zdeno Chara, the tallest man in NHL history. Not a draftee as of yet, though, as Western takes the face-off back into their own zone deep. They'll reset, dump back in towards Levine, as Western has the puck in Michigan's zone. Takes a random shot on net there, bounces around back to the corner. A stick goes flying as it's DiPietro without his stick for the Broncos. Michigan coming up ice, even 3-on-3. A dump in behind the net, trying to find Brendan Warren over on the left-hand corner. As Western fights it back to the right-hand side, takes a little dump pass in there from Luke Martin, bounces around, and coming out with it is Frank for Western Michigan, as he dumps in lazily towards DiPietro. DiPietro can't get it, and it's gathered by Martin. Martin throws it up to Randall in the neutral zone, crosses the blue line. He goes down, as Van Wy gave a light chase, but not enough, and now an opportunity for McGing again. McGing almost goes 5-hole, can't quite find it. He almost had a one-on-one chance to close out the period. He also had the first goal of the game, and McGing is all over the ice tonight for the Broncos. Conrad now has it, fighting back in there with Summers for Michigan. Now Martin coming in to help on a battle on the boards. Van Wy gets it out wide to Dakota Raby. Raby trying to outrun. Can't quite do it. Randall throws it in play, trying to find Van Wy, who gets wrapped up, and it's taken away by Kucherek for the Broncos. We still have a stick on the ice back in Michigan's zone deep behind the back line, as it'll be reset there by Quinn Hughes, and he goes all the way up ice looking for Norris, who falls to his right side, put too much weight on his skate, and went tumbling down. It'll be an icing call, and they'll bring it right back.
That was a bit of an embarrassing moment there for Jack Summers and Luke Martin. They just got split. They let a Bronco just straight through them, right into the husband-wife zone of no communication. I mean, there is none. They just let him go right by there. One of them, they need to communicate better. One of those guys needs to step up, get a body on him, so you don't have a one-on-one opportunity against Levine.
It's the third time tonight that the Wolverines have just been split with a wide-open opportunity resulting for Western, as Conrad will be in the face-off circle. Michigan wins it, though, as Slaker tries to find a bouncing pass off the boards for Norris, but can't get it to stick, as Lee comes up ice for Western. He breaks to the right-hand side, tries to find a dump back in the slot, trying to take another opportunity as Western can't get the shot off, blocked by Norris. Norris has help coming up ice, crossing the blue line. He goes to Hughes, just a bit wide off the stick. Thrown back in for another chance. Lockwood's got a chance. He throws it from the slot, blocked. Now Hughes has it on the left-hand circle. He takes it over to the right, deking around. He takes a stick, deking around again. Fans want a penalty, won't get one. Hughes falls to the ice, puck goes away, cleared by Western. Now they've got a 2-on-1 opportunity. A good block in there, a good back check stick there from Ciccone as a shot rings wide from the left-hand circle there, I should say, for Lee. Schooneman throws it up to Lee in the neutral zone. Michigan intercepts with Ciccone and coming right off the boards, and wrapped around is Norris, but it's going to be offside, as they're going to say Pastujov was trying to get over the boards but was offside when the puck crossed.
Now that's what you want to see out of Josh Norris. Really good shift for him right there. Good defensive positioning, blocked a shot, got it into the zone, and even though Hughes made a mistake and gave up the puck, Norris put himself in a good position to get open, and if he gets that pass, it might be a goal.
16:20 and ticking remaining here in the second period. It's 2-1 Western. You're listening to Michigan men's hockey coverage on WCBN Sports and Michigan Student Hockey Radio Network. Michigan heading up ice now out of the faceoff. Becker was looking for Pastujov but couldn't find him. Trying to find a back pass into the slot are the Wolverines. It goes wide, and now Kortenwall is heading up ice for Western. Good back check there by Boca and Griffin Luce as they fight it off, but Western's able to retain possession. A poor pass finds the stick of Nick Boca, though, and now the Wolverines will push up ice. Mike Pastujov moving up the left-hand side. His brother Nick out as well. Mike goes up the far-hand side of the boards. Summers trying to clear it, can't do it. Bad look at it, was bouncing a little bit as he got his stick to it, but coming to save the day is Becker. And now Michigan will work up the left-hand side. Crossing ice with Luke Martin. Mike Pastujov takes a shot. That one blocked off to the left-hand side by Gorsuch. Now Summers plays it back in the neutral zone to Martin. Michigan still trying to push up. Mike Pastujov gives it a touch into the western zone, and the Broncos defenseman will take it. A nice up-ice pass to Rushoff. Now Rushoff cutting up the left-hand side. He doesn't have any help, though, so he'll retreat, keep possession, then cut it into DiPietro. DiPietro couldn't quite find it, and we're going to have a penalty whistle, as the Wolverines thought they might have had an even man rush opportunity. Instead, it'll be the 4th Michigan penalty of the night.
Really strong effort there by Nick Boca. Again, not the greatest communication between Boca and Luce. They both went for the same guy, but Boca, the captain, or the assistant captain, said, you know what, through my sheer will and determination, I am going to steal the puck from you. Even though that wasn't the best positioning, that's the type of effort you need to see from these Wolverines. They're more talented than the Broncos. They need to start showing it. And so far in the last couple of minutes, the Michigan Wolverines forwards and defensemen have shown their skill, gotten a few good opportunities.
Luke Martin is in the box, 2 minutes on the hooking call here at 5 minutes into the second period, 15 even remaining on the clock. And it'll be 2 minutes as the Wolverines will try and kill off another. They've given up 1 power play goal so far tonight to the Broncos. That was the Ethan Frank goal just 5 seconds into the power play, back with a minute to play in the first period. As Western wins the faceoff in the offensive zone. Cycling it around, trying to find something there. Warad tries to kick it back to the point. Lee can't retain it, so he's going to drop back and reset. Lee trying to find a back pass and found Dakota Raby, who, if he kept it on his stick, was going to have a one-on-one opportunity. But it shuffles away back to the boards, and now Raby's sticking up in there with a little forechecking pressure. And now McGing, who's been everywhere. McGing tries to split him again. He takes a shot, bounces off the glove of Hayden Levine, up off the bar and out of play.
Really good opportunity by Dakota Raby right there. He's one of my picks to be a breakout player this year.
But I'll tell you what, talking about breakout players, Hugh McGing tonight has been fantastic. 2018 draft selection by the St. Louis Blues, an offensive-minded hockey team. And boy, if he makes his way all the way up to the biggies, he's looking like he's playing very well tonight.
Yeah, well, a lot of these Western Michigan players have really come to play tonight. You got to do more if you're Michigan right here. You do have the better players. McGing has played well.
Michigan cleared it off the faceoff. They've got Slaker coming up ice. He takes the wrist shot. He probably should have tried to find Norris on the left-hand side. Maybe a little bit selfish. It was a 2-on-1 opportunity, but that burns a little bit of time off the power play clock. 1 minute even remaining as Frank cuts up ice for the Broncos. He splits Griffin loose. Again, poor defending by the Wolverines as they try and get back, but nothing comes of the opportunity as the Wolverines win back. This is wide open on the penalty kill, as Norris has it in front for the Wolverines, tries to slot it over to the far-hand side, but it's boarded away by Gorsuch. Trying to find the cross-ice pass to Schooneman, but the Broncos have no luck. And then almost an up-ice pass to Josh Norris, but the Wolverines can't make another opportunity out of the shorthand. Now Rushoff, the big boy, has it on the near side boards, right-hand side. DiPietro cutting in behind the back line. Now a big opportunity in front for Western. Blocked away. It was Cotter right there trying to take a shot. He was wide open himself, but blocked off nicely on the near side by Hayden Levine, as now the Wolverines will push up ice. 10 seconds remaining on the kill. That should probably be a penalty coming up into the boards. There is almost a WWE-style play there thrown up on the back. Was Randall. Nothing's going to come of it, though. That looked like just a very overly aggressive play, but the fans will go begging as now Western will cut back up ice. Blackenberg down behind the net, trying to keep it in Michigan's possession in their own zone. Fighting down in there with Washi for the Broncos. Michigan finally comes out of it with the puck as Nick Pastujov cuts up the ice. He's going right up the gut, blocked on the shot there as he is thrown to the ice by Western. It was Cale Bennett, shot, score!
This line again, this is the best line for the Wolverines.
Michigan got it right back, and this time it's the other Pastujov brother, Mike. back-to-back Pastujov goals, and that'll put Michigan right back at even 2-2. I was still paying attention to the play down behind where Cale Bennett had thrown down to the ice, and then coming right back off the rebound is Mike Pastujov's score.
Well, when Michigan's at their best, they're doing a really good job of breaking out of the zone, being quick in transition, limited time in the neutral zone, and then attacking into the zone, into the offensive zone. And that was a fantastic job by the Pastujov brothers. Must have been that brotherly connection, but they were so quick getting out of their own zone, a great transition, and that was able to set them up to attack in the offensive zone. Of course, their first shot didn't go in, but they kept at it. They were persistent, and that's what makes this line so good. You got the three hardest working forwards on the team all together. What could go wrong?
So at 7:34 in the second period, a goal for the Pastujovs. It was actually a Pastujov connection. A nice throw up by Nick over to Mike. Mike scores the goal. So now a goal and an assist for Nick Pastujov. One goal for Mike Pastujov. 2-2 your score. Also a penalty is going to come out of that. The play that I was talking about down on the far side there where Cale Bennett had thrown down to the ice. I can't remember who it was at the moment. Another Wolverine on the attack had gone down.
Pastujov.
And it's going to be a 2-minute penalty. The official call will be hooking, although it was more of a throwdown.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you play an aggressive attacking style of play. You're going to get bodied, and you're going to draw some penalties, and that's what Nick Pastujov has done tonight. He's really controlled the middle of the ice for the Wolverines, and it seems like Norris can't even do that. It seems like Morgan can't.
So an opportunity not only for a momentum shift, but a big one now as Michigan's going to have a man advantage opportunity coming right off of a goal. You're listening to Michigan men's hockey coverage on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor and the Michigan Student Hockey Radio Network. 2-2 Michigan and Western Michigan here with 12:22 remaining in the second period. Michigan on the man advantage. They win the faceoff. Hughes pushes up ice. His pass is intercepted. The Wolverines will hold and reset so they don't get the offsides call. Hughes will pass off to Lockwood. Lockwood looked for the little ticky-tack pass right there. Couldn't find it. Western will clear back down to Ciccone. Ciccone handles. Hughes takes a bump. Over on the far side boards, Michigan retains possession but dumps back behind their own blue line. As Norris slowly weaving up ice, he finds Ciccone. Ciccone coming far side, shot, score! Ciccone with the handoff, not sure if there was a piece of it there for Lockwood. One of them scored the goal down in the slot, and that's a power play goal for Michigan. 3-2 with 11:51 to play here in the third period. Wolverines come back from a goal down, and in less than a minute, get two more, 3-2.
You think Josh Norris has the headphones in his helmet? I think he did, because he did exactly what I wanted. He controlled the puck. That play started because Josh Norris controlled the puck in the neutral zone in the center of the ice, pushed it forward, controlled it well, didn't give it up like they have been all night, and he set up a great opportunity. Lockwood comes out of nowhere. That's what happens when you're lightning fast like Will Lockwood is.
So Lockwood did get the piece, the assist to Ciccone. A great play for Michigan on the power play, and they are back up a goal, 3-2. No review on the goal. It is good from the booth. Wolverines have the puck as they dump in off the faceoff. Western will reset with Schoenemann. Western dumps back in behind the back line of Michigan as chasing back is Summers, and he finds Randall. Western intercepts though right at the blue line, keeps it onside as they're now back deep. Cutting around back behind the net, looking for something there is Passolt. Passolt tries to take a shot, it's blocked away. As Van Wy tries to work it up the right-hand side, he gets it out of the Michigan zone. And Randall with the win. Randall's gonna go 2-on-3 here. Takes a shot, bounces up off the chin there on Western of Corey Schoenemann. Puck stays in the offensive zone though for the Maize and Blue. Randall trying to find the back pass. Would have been a nice one there. Looking for Morgan as Hayden Levine is going to come off. And there's going to be a delayed penalty here against Western. So they just gave up a power play goal. They're going to have another one. Michigan pulled Hayden Levine, but it will not matter as they try and push up ice. Western intercepts, play blown dead, and we'll see what the penalty call is.
That was a really good job in the corner there by Randall. Again, seems like they're listening to me. He got into the hard area to get the puck. He got in the corner, dug out the puck, was strong, and push the guy off. He's able to cradle that puck, control it, and end up getting a really good opportunity. No one was there to receive the pass, but Michigan has a guy there. They can get an easy shot from the center of the ice. Good play set up by Jack Randall, the freshman.
Penalty is going to go against the Broncos. It'll be Matthias Samuelson, draft pick of the Buffalo Sabres, and he's going to get 2 minutes for hooking. And right back to the power play are the Wolverines. After just taking the lead on the last power play, they're up 3-2 here with 10:32 remaining in the second period, and boy, shades of difference from the first period to now, She.
Oh yes, they're really not making the mental errors they were in the first period. The effort's a little bit up there. I like that a lot. But what's really setting this period play apart from the first period play for the Wolverines is they're controlling that puck. They're not losing the puck. They're not trying to make as many cutesy passes that end up getting intercepted. They're strong on their puck. They're controlling it. And again, there was a time in the first period where Quinn Hughes went back in his own zone to retrieve a puck. No defenders around him. And he simply just missed it. That's not happening. They look a little more calmed down. And they certainly, especially Josh Norris, has really picked it up.
Norris is going to take the face-off here for the Wolverines in the offensive zone on the man advantage. Ciccone takes it right off the face-off and takes a dump shot in. Nothing doing, though. Wolverines will fight it back. Quinn Hughes with a shot from the right-hand circle. That one blocked away, and Western will clear it down ice. A nice early opportunity as Quinn Hughes found himself alone in the circle. Couldn't put it in.
Sensational on the face-off wins tonight.
Ciccone now has it for Michigan, pushes up ice into the neutral zone, dumps it off for Hughes. Hughes takes a dump-in pass off the boards, trying to find something there with Norris, but nobody was home in the slot for the dump-back pass. Western clears back down to Levine. Ciccone now has it coming up the near side. He's got Lockwood to his right, but instead dumps it back to Hughes, who goes to Norris, then to Lockwood. Play is onside as Lockwood dances around the blue line. Hands it back to Ciccone on the left-hand side. He goes to Hughes to his left. Quick slap shot there by Norris. Score! It got the redirect off the stick of Jake Slaker. And it's going to be another Michigan power play goal. 4-2 Wolverines here with 9:37 remaining in the second period. This time, Slaker off the Norris slapper. And the Wolverines have a 2-goal lead.
That's just what the doctor ordered. They pay too much attention to Quinn Hughes, and what does he do? Keeps his head up. Norris did a great job of finding the open ice. That's what makes great players great, is they have a sense of where to be, how to get open, and what they do away from the puck. Norris got in the perfect position, had a nice low slap shot, and finally the Wolverines get a guy in front of the net. Slaker does his job, makes it hard for the goalie, deflects that baby home, and Michigan has a 2-goal lead. Gotta love it.
And a timeout is going to be called here by the Western Michigan Broncos, trying to regroup now as they've been outscored 3-0 so far here in the second period.
Well, again, I called out Norris at the beginning of this period, at the end of last period, and boy, has he proven me wrong so far. He has come to play. Josh Norris is really just controlling the game right now, and that's what you want to do when you're a top line on a better team. You want to control the game, play by your own terms. A good way to do that is win faceoffs, and Josh Norris, like I said earlier, has been absolutely spectacular from the circle. He is 12 for 18. Doesn't get too much better than that. That allows his own team to establish possession, that allows them to move the puck, and they can slow the game down a little bit because Michigan has a tendency to get too fast. They get the pass, they look extremely for a long pass up the ice. They try and push, and that leads to a lot of sloppy plays.
Timeout is over. We're going to have the face-off off the goal now. 4-2 your score here with 9:37 remaining in the second period. We've got 15 minutes left on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor, but of course the game won't be done then. So catch up with us on youtube.com/WCBN Sports or WCBNsports.org. We'll announce that again as we get closer to the end of our time on 88.3. Michigan wins the face-off, cuts up ice, but offsides is the call, and it will come back here with 9:23 remaining. Shots now in favor of the Wolverines, 19-16 over the Broncos. And a rough night here in the second period for Trevor Gorsuch. He had a one-game played shutout win with 26 saves earlier in the season for the Broncos. This just his second appearance, but he's seeing some much better talent, and now that talent is awake for the Maize and Blue.
And that's a big advantage Michigan's going to have against almost any team they play. Hayden Levine is as solid and reliable as it gets in net. When things aren't going right, you need your upperclassman goalie to stay strong, not make any mistakes, and keep your team in the game. That's what Levine's had. He's had a couple nice saves tonight. Sure, he's given up 2 goals. There's only so much you can do about it when you have a really weak defense. But Levine has come to play tonight, and that's what's going to keep this Michigan team in games. That's why they're not going to fall too behind in the standings if they play the way they are right now and pick it up a little bit, because they do have that insurance plan in Hayden Levine. That's what they didn't have at the beginning of last year. It was a big question mark going into the 2017-18 season. Who was going to be in net? Was it going to be Levine? Was it going to be Chat? But Levine has really stepped up. And if you're a team like Michigan playing in a tough conference like the Big Ten, that is so huge at the beginning of the season towards your final season standing when you have a guy like Levine in net for you.
Michigan wins the face-off. They bring it into the offensive zone down on the left-hand side. They kick it back to Summers in the neutral zone, and then a dump in for Lambert as Western will chase it back around end-to-end on the boards. Lambert takes the puck, hands it off to Luke Martin. Martin goes back to Morgan. Morgan to Summers, all in the neutral zone still, as the puck finally breaks into Western zone and quickly comes right back into the neutral zone. Not much doing here. Just waiting for the play to get set up as the Wolverines finally dump it in deep, and it finds its way back to Gorsuch. Looking for the cross-ice pass up towards the Michigan blue line was Western, but it's intercepted as it comes back down in deep. Becker is there, trying to find the cross-ice pass. Boca takes a shot from the circle. It goes wide, looking for the far-hand side. Griffin Luce dumping in to Pastujov, trying to find it. Cannot do so. Boca dumps it back, as Becker's got it in the corner. Fighting for it there, Nick and Mike. As Mike tried to throw it across there, couldn't find anybody in the slot. Griffin Luce takes it to the top of the left circle, takes a wrister that flies up wide over the head of Gorsuch. As Michigan dumps back in behind, Becker's now got it. Couple of poke checks by Western as Mike Pastujov goes flying. And the puck finds its way back into the corner, and finally able to clear are the Broncos.
Good possession by the Wolverines in the offensive zone.
No icing there as Levine will come back out and chuck it up ice. And now Nick Pastujov's got it. Throws it back over to his brother. Right back in front, looking for Dakota Raby as it pops up in the air. An infield fly that's caught in the air by Gorsuch. And that'll stop play at 7:34 remaining here in the second period. Your score, Michigan 4, Western Michigan 2.
JP, the bigs are starting to play better for Michigan. Slaker's picking it up. Norris is picking it up. Now we're going to go down the list. I want to see Brendan Warren do something here. He was an X factor for this team last year. When he started to play hot, Michigan started to win games. And that third line, if he can captain that well and play well, Michigan's going to be a really deep team and hard to defend.
Western wins off the faceoff, cuts up inside. Fighting around for it with a couple of sticks loose there is Gallant. As it flies back around in behind the back line, Ciccone takes it. Pops it down from the corner. Hughes has it. Still in Michigan's defensive zone as they're going to take it back behind the net. Reset. Line change for Western. As Hughes finally takes it up, bounces it off the left boards, looking for Randall. He has him. Michigan's offsides in the zone, though, so they got to keep it neutral. And then a Randall dump will allow a wholesale change for the Wolverines. Western resets. Coming up the ice is Cale Bennett. Bennett finds it, scooting around the left side, splits a couple of Michigan defenders, gets around back to the corner where he's cut off by Summers. As Josh Norris collects and passes back to Summers at the back line. That one escapes a couple of Western sticks trying to keep it in play, and it gets back across the blue line, and they'll have to reset. There was a pass looking there for Ethan Frank, one of the Western goal scorers tonight. Couldn't find it. Michigan retakes possession. Slaker cuts up inside. He dumps off for Norris. Norris is being battled with at the blue line, and it comes back out. And so offsides would have resulted had Michigan continued to push. They dump back. Western takes it and resets it. Cale Bennett comes up, takes the pass for Conrad. Leaves it to Bafia. Bafia dumps in, and now Western will change out as Frank crosses over the boards. He gives way for Jade McMullen. as now Michigan has a little opportunity. Lockwood sets it up. Slaker wrapping around. He was trying to find Josh Norris in front on a little soft pass. A poor pass by Western, kept in by Josh Norris. Norris goes over to the right-hand side. Slaker with an odd angle shot over on the left, and that one is gloved in there by Gorsuch. Stoppage in play, 5:25 remaining here in the second period. 4-2 your score in favor of the Wolverines. You listen to Michigan Men's Hockey on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor and the Michigan Student Hockey Radio Network.
Again, that's really good positioning by Josh Norris. It seems like he's taken a deep breath, collected himself, and is really playing a controlled game. He's controlling the flow of this game, and if you're a top-line center, that's what you have to do to reach the next level in his game.
Western wins the faceoff, but Michigan gets it back out as maybe a quick chance in front for the Broncos on a squirting puck that escapes Boca. A couple of bodies go flying, and unable to handle it down in deep was Drew Warad. Not sure if that might be a delay of game penalty as the puck goes up and out of play. Doesn't look like it. It was lifted up and over by a Wolverine stick. Didn't quite catch who in the scrum there. No harm, no foul. Nobody heads to the box, and we'll have it reset with 5:05 remaining in the left-hand face-off circle as Levine sets himself up closer to the crease there. Shots 21-16 in favor of the Wolverines, as there's going to be a send-off now as Nick Pastujov gives way to Becker. Blackenberg hands it up ice as Becker moves around. Pastujov. Nick trying for the wraparound. The goal came off its moorings. They don't stop play, though, as it settles back in. A little bit of movement with some bodies coming around on the wraparound try, but now Western cuts up ice with a chance. Really nice hand save there by DiPietro, but Blackenberg with a last-minute poke check there to keep the opportunity away. Michigan fights the puck out of their own zone. Western will reset and come up ice. They've got Rushoff coming up. The big 6'7" Rushoff dumps it in as it rides its way up the glass and over into the netting. Out of play, 4:23 remaining will reset. Michigan 4, Western 2.
The Michigan Wolverines are communicating a lot better. How do I know that? You can see them moving really well as a unit. Unlike a bunch of chickens running around with their heads cut off like in the first period, when one guy moves up, another guy drops back. When some of their defenders right now are taking a pinch and going towards the puck, you have a center dropping back to cover for them. When you have one player taking up the ice, you have on the side, you have somebody driving up the middle, going straight to the net. You have another player giving them a high option. They seem like they know where they're going to be right now. They're moving well as a unit, and that is so crucial. When you're a more talented team, if you can move well in a unit, you're going to find an open player. You're going to make plays. But when you just keep your head down and just skate and try and outskate everyone and play too fast like they have been doing in the last couple games, that's not going to work. There's really encouraging things I'm seeing right now from this Michigan team. Hopefully they can keep this up. And again, give all the credit in the world to Josh Norris right now. He is really coming to play, really improved from the first period.
For those of you tuning in with us on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor, we're getting close to the end of our airtime here. We'll be off air at 9 o'clock. Should coincide right about the end of the period here as we've got 4:23 left, pending a lot of stoppages. Either way, once we go off air on 88.3, you can catch us online at youtube.com/WCBN Sports and WCBNsports.org. As Garrett Van Wy takes the face-off for the Wolverines, they win it. Heading up ice now is Dakota Raby. He's got a chance. Tries the dump-off pass. He was going to get cut off on the back check by Western, and instead a dump-in for the Wolverines as Schoenemann takes it. Schoenemann throws it up ice, trying to find a pass up in the neutral zone to Lawton Courtnall. Can't find him out of play remaining here in the period.
Now, Raby is a player that really interests me. He can make a lot of things happen with his speed. He's nice and scrappy. He can be a difference maker in a game, especially on the penalty kill. If he can just play a little smarter, slow it down a little bit, be composed and controlled, he can really turn into a really transformative player for this Wolverine team.
Van Wy loses out on the face-off this time, getting beat there by Ethan Frank as the puck comes up ice. It's going to be an icing call, though, and it'll come right back. And, of course, I cursed it, right? Saying the end of the period was going to come right at about 9 o'clock, pending a lot of stoppages. About 3 stoppages in a row right here is we're at 3:58 remaining in the second period. Take a minute to give a big thanks as well to Nabil Beg in studio for us tonight, engineering on 88.3, sitting down in the gloom tomb of the Student Activities Building.
And B.
Always appreciated as Michigan wins the faceoff, dumps back in behind the net. Slaker tries to throw it in front, there's nobody home. As now Gallant heads up ice. Dumped in on the odd angle by Western, bounces off the kick pad of Levine. Wolverines will reset, Western will take a line change. Slaker moves it up for Josh Norris. Norris can't handle it off the stick, but it goes right back to Slaker, and he is intercepted by Schoenemann. Schoenemann goes up to Conrad. Conrad looking for the spinorama pass, couldn't quite find McGing, as now Michigan bouncing into each other, Lockwood and Slaker, and I think we're going to have a hand pass call here, as that one will come back.
One big difference you're seeing in this second period is it doesn't seem like the Broncos have had a legitimate offensive possession in a really long time. Michigan's keeping control of the puck, which is so big when you're the more talented, more skilled team. And when it seems obvious, but when Western Michigan doesn't have the puck, they can't do anything with it. It's been a recipe for success for the Wolverines, and I don't think there's been a shot on goal for the Broncos in almost 10 minutes.
Stuck it. They were at 16 shots a few minutes ago, so they did get one. There's one right there coming off the kick pad. There's McGing, tries to find another. As a wide shot goes right up in front, trying to find Conrad, who puts it into the net, but the play was already blown dead. I think we're going to see a penalty here against the Broncos. We'll see what the call is. Everybody's still kind of mulling around on their skates at the moment. See who's going to come off the ice here.
Michigan has been fantastic on the power play so far this game. They're 3 for 4, 75%, a lot better than their season average going into this game of only about 14%.
Looks like it's going to go against DiPietro, but now he's skating back towards the bench. As he finally, I think, is going to start his long skate across the ice back to the box. Not sure what he needed over there, but it is going to go against DiPietro, Dawson DiPietro, the junior out of Medina, Ohio. And he's going to see 2 minutes. The call there, tripping on DiPietro. As the faceoff is won by Western, they clear it back down ice. Michigan again on the power play. 2 minutes for tripping to DiPietro, as Michigan sets it up with Nick Boca this time. Showing Boca at the start of the power play instead of Hughes. Cutting up ice, looking for Mike Pastujov right in the slot. Couldn't get his stick to it on the opportunity as Lambert kicks it back to Boca. He's atop the right circle. Boca kicking over to Lambert, blocked away by a couple of Western bodies before it could get to Gorsuch. Mike Pastujov takes a shot, blocked, gets it right back. Opportunity for Nick Pastujov, goes just up high. He had a lot of open net in front of him, and he goes up over the iron. Western clears the puck. McGing was giving chase as though he might have had a chance, but Boca gets back in time. 1:07 remaining on the power play here for Michigan. 2:15 remaining in the second period. They have a 2-goal lead. The Pastujov brothers cutting up, cutting over. Pass is intercepted. It's going to be a 2-on-2 opportunity. Cutting up there is Courtenall. Courtenall tries to take a shot short-handed, can't find it. He had Frank on his right-hand side. That'll burn some time off the clock on the Michigan power play as they're now down to 40 seconds.
Interesting move by Pearson, going with 4 forwards and 1 defenseman on this power play.
Yep, and Ciccone, the defenseman of all people. This
Now
is really
Hughes
kind of a
on the
Quinn
ice.
Hughes moment. Yep, now he's back out there. As Ciccone will come wrap around the right-hand side. Goes around the corner. A couple bodies go to the ice as Will Lockwood comes out of it with the puck. Ciccone dumps it back behind the back line, and it finds Josh Norris, handled there by Quinn Hughes right at the blue line. Does a little deke, keeps the puck in play. Norris to Slaker, shot. Odd angle, couldn't quite find it. And that'll be saved by Gorsuch. 1:20 run remaining in the second period. And that's going to be the perfect time, I think, for us to sign off on 88.3. It is 9 o'clock here in the Eastern time zone. 1:21 remaining in the second period. Michigan leading by 2 goals, 4-2 over the Western Michigan Broncos. Again, thank you to those of you tuning in on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor for a WCBN sports presentation of Michigan men's hockey. For Jeremy Parks, Alex Shee, Austin Falco, and Nabil Beg in studio, as we always leave you with a good night and a go blue, feel free to join us on youtube.com/WCBN Sports and WCBNsports.org. We'll see you next Friday at 7 as the faceoff is won by the Wolverines.
Another win for Norris.
They've got the play in the zone, trying to find that back pass for Norris right in the crease there. Saccone couldn't get it to his stick, and that'll kill off the penalty. Michigan could not score on that one as Lockwood almost had a nice shot there on the little wrister. Going down in front of the goal is Norris. I think he hit his head. Ooh, he's going to get up slow as the back of his head clobbered to the ice as Cotter brings it up and in. Everything's going to stop now. I think they're going to check on Norris. Officially an injury timeout, which for Western, not at the great time. They had a bit of a rush coming up on the ice. As Norris is up and skating back to the bench, he looks like he'll be all right.
That power play, even though it didn't produce a goal for the Wolverines, there was a lot of positives right there. Really good puck movement. They sent guys in and out of the center of the ice in that prime goal-scoring slot, which is really good. Makes it a lot harder to defend if you're Western Michigan. If the Wolverines are just standing there, Western Michigan's going to bully them around like they did in the first. Not quite the case in the second period.
40 seconds remaining here in the period. Western will be happy to get to the locker room. They've given up 3 goals here in the second period, have not scored one themselves. As Summers fights it back. DiPietro cutting up for Western. Looks for a little pass over to Rushoff. Rushoff takes the wrister on goal. Blocked away by Hayden Levine, and now pushing up ice are the Wolverines. Brendan Warren giving some chase down there. Morgan trying to keep it in play for Michigan. A bad clear finds the stick of Dakota Raby. Raby goes coast to coast all the way around. Now tries a dump pass back to Warren, and time will expire on that play. A big second period for Michigan, and I mean big. 3 goals to none as they now lead the game 4-2 over the number 19 Western Michigan Broncos. After 40 minutes played, 4-2, shots 23-17 in favor of Michigan, and a big period for Michigan trying to get their first regular season win.
Couldn't have gone better for the Michigan Wolverines. If I could summarize this period in one word, I would say control. Fantastic puck possession. I mean, they really didn't give the Broncos any opportunity to get shots, get any good offensive zone possessions going. And Michigan just really played their game. They did a good job of finding the open man, moving around, getting open, keeping their head up, and making plays. There were 3 goals, but there were a heck of a lot more plays and shots made.
Well, we've got one more period to go. After 40 minutes, it's Michigan 4, Western Michigan 2. For the intermission show, again, I'm going to hand it back off to Austin Falco. He's going to join Alex Shee here. I'll be back in 15 minutes. See if Michigan can hold on to a 2-goal lead here on WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan hockey and the Michigan Student Hockey Radio Network. Shee, take it away.
Well, it's 4-2 now for the Wolverines. I did a lot of complaining, Falco, after the end of the last period. Things weren't looking too good. I'm kind of stunned right now because that was really night and day.
I mean, there's only one explanation, and that's that Michigan had WCBN Sports on in the locker room and heard all your complaining and heard all your venting.
Of course.
And really addressed those issues. I mean, that second period was nothing short of dominant. The entire period felt like it was being played in the Western Michigan zone. I mean, any chances for the Broncos were, first of all, there were less chances, less shots. Levine did not have to work as hard, and those shots were much lower quality looks than in the first period. The first period seemed like Western, if they got a look, they were going to get 1 or 2 really good looks at Hayden Levine. He was going to have to come up with some big stops. That period made a couple nice stops, but otherwise pretty routine saves the entire time. Because Michigan had so much pressure offensively in the Western Michigan zone, Westerners didn't have any time or the legs underneath them to counterattack, and that was really the difference.
Another good point for attack for Michigan is defense creates offense. Whenever the Broncos, the few times that they did, had good shots in the offensive zone, Michigan was really quick to steal the puck right back, and they were lightning fast in tradition. I meant to say transition. Lightning fast in transition. That allows them to get on the attack really quickly, set up possession, and not only were they quick in transition, they were really quick in moving in and out of the center of the ice. They were skating around. They weren't just standing there like an ISO offense like they were in the first period. and they did a really good job keeping their head up. And what's the line from the Beatles? Can't get by with little help from my friends. They really played a team. They shared the puck well. There wasn't any of that nonsense. I'm going to play Superman and take it up the ice, skate around everyone, deke the goalie, and score like it's a shootout. No, all of those goals happened because the teammates were in the right place. The person with the puck did a good job to control it, strong on the puck, looked up, made a good pass, and they found open guys who had easy opportunities. They didn't need to snipe the goalie. They put the puck, they scored easily, and that just shows that they're a superior team. They finally played like it for the first time this season.
Yeah, I just want to give props real quick to the Yost Ice Arena staff. We had a little intermission game here. It was a game of not even musical chairs, but musical beanbags. And the song they're playing for it was The Middle. And as somebody's walking around, they have to meet in the middle as the lyrics in the song go. Just want to give a shout out there to the Yost Ice Arena. I got a kick out of that. Anyways, as you were saying, Michigan passing to open shots throughout that entire period. Much different story in the first, where everything looked like no one was on the same page. It was sloppy play. No one was handling the puck. I mean, there were still instances. It's still college hockey. It's still not polished. You're never going to be 100% on looking like a beautiful, pristine hockey team every single time down the ice. But a marked improvement from that first period to the second period in just knowing where your teammates were, how to find them, when to find them, and taking advantage of it. It was something. It's a lot more fun for this Yost Ice Arena crowd to get up and get into games. You could definitely hear it in that second period. There's a bit of a lull back in the first period when Michigan couldn't quite get anything going. They just looked off the entire time, as opposed to that second period where they're scoring goals left and right. 2 goals quicker than they can even get the goal counts in here. It makes the atmosphere a lot more fun, not only for the fans, for the players. They can feed off of this. We were talking in the first intermission about how you can't lose this game at home. And part of that reason is it's such a great environment for you. You're going to feed off that energy. You're not going to get that same environment tomorrow night in Kalamazoo. So take advantage of it now, and they definitely seem to do so in that second period.
Yeah, and you talked about feeding off of that energy. There's been 3 players that have set the tone not only for their team but have energized the entire arena, and that's the Pasiov brothers and Jack Becker. They're on another level. Michigan, if they want to do anything like they did last year, make it to the tournament, get deep, they need to start playing like these 3 guys. And they need their players who were a little bit younger last year, like the Pasiovs and Becker, to make big improvements to fill the holes that were left by the Run DMC line. And boy, have they done that. Pasiov, and Becker are both clearly better hockey players than they were last year. They're playing well, not only individually and showing good effort, but they're really meshing together. They had a lot of good opportunities. And what a lot of the Wolverines did tonight in getting those 4 goals, 3 in the last period, was they did a fantastic job of finding gaps in that Bronco defense, and the Broncos were leaving the back door wide open. There were so many times where a Michigan defender, Michigan centerman, they were skating with the puck around the zone, circling around, but they left a guy in the back door wide open. Michigan was finding them every single time, and that leaves the Broncos defense scrambling. You have to scramble and shift towards that backdoor player, leaving a slot open in the ice, which is really fantastic because goals from that mid-center slot, those are the ones that are going to go in when they're shot. Those are really high percentage shots. And by finding that player in the back door, by getting them open and controlling the puck below the dots, it opens up those high percentage opportunities, and Michigan's got 4 of them. None of those goals were on breakaways or on really fancy-smancy Alexander Ovechkin full ice rushes. They were on good teamwork, finding that open player down low, and just making things happen. Not making things more complicated than they needed to be, and that comes down from a slowed down, controlled puck possession game.
I think there was one thing you said in there early on about how Michigan's cycling around the net. They're really getting everything moving, getting everything going, looking for that back door. That was something that did not happen in the first period. You called it out in that first intermission. Specifically a play by Lockwood where he had time to go around the net. He had space to go around the net and make something happen, finds him on the back door, and he just flat out didn't do it. Michigan was doing it all of that last period, which is why they're now up 4-2 after going in with a 1-goal deficit into that second period. you brought up the pass-offs again also. Absolutely beautiful move by Michael, the younger brother there. Figures older brother's got a goal. Might as well get one for himself. It was actually Nick that drew the penalty on that play and kind of took Western's defenseman out of the play in the process of drawing that penalty. Left Michael wide open in front of the net, put a little move on it. And if he wanted to, he could have dropped back to Jack Becker, who would have had a great scoring opportunity from the slot as well. That line is just making it happen. We cannot hammer this home enough. Absolutely fantastic. You said better players than they were last year. And that's what this Michigan hockey program is about. They're going to bring in highly touted recruits. But once you get here, it's all about getting better. We've seen it, even Quinn Hughes over the course of last year, who was seen as easily the best player on this Michigan hockey team, has drawn comparisons to Zach Rowensky playing in the NHL now for the Blue Jackets in terms of just his offensive prowess as a defenseman. Part of the reason those comparisons aren't so crazy is because of that progression year to year and during the year. And you made a great point. They are just flat out better hockey players than they were last year, the Pastjoffs and Becker. And it's showing not only on the ice, but now on the stat sheet as well. With both the Pastjoffs have a goal, Becker has an assist. Just doing a fantastic job all the way around. You can't stress it enough.
I think the best possession Michigan had all game was, I believe it was their third power play, their third goal of the game on the power play. Quinn Hughes makes a really nice secondary assist, and you really want a lot of your offense, especially on these power plays, to come from Hughes. You don't want him to be the guy that scores it because you know they're going to defend him. Quinn Hughes did a really good job of controlling the puck, working his wizard magic as he always does. You know, deking around guys, skating around them, skating circles around grown college men, and then keeping that head up. He found Josh Norris in the back door, like we said, wide open. Norris had a nice pass off for a deflection goal by Jake Slaker. That is what you want from Michigan. That is a blueprint of what their power play should look like. It all starts from Hughes, and then Josh Norris did a great job of getting open, finding the right guy. Good job attacking, going straight to the net by Slaker. That was perfect job getting in sync by all of the Michigan Wolverines. Really good passing by Hughes, doing what he does. Good awareness by Josh Norris to be in the exact right spot. And Slaker finally picking it up a little bit, striving to the net. I mean, if Michigan does that well, it's just too hard to stop, especially on the power play.
Yeah, you know, the Michigan's third goal there by Will Lockwood off that great pass out in front to Joseph Ciccone. That was something. It was a fantastic goal. It showed they were getting better, obviously, as if the rest of the period didn't already show that. Once that goal that you just talked about, Quinn Hughes going cross-ice to Norris, finding Slaker in front, when that goal happened, you can tell this team found it. Whatever happened in the locker room in that first intermission, this team is back to the team we expect them to be. They are a more talented team than Western Michigan, and they were finally playing like it. At that point, Western Michigan called their quick timeout. You could feel, it almost seemed like Western Michigan knew they had their chance to try to keep that lead, and now that Michigan has come to play in that second period, it felt like it was over, honestly. Close to the end of that second period, it felt like Western Michigan just kind of, I don't want to say gave up, but was almost resigned to the fact that, well, this is kind of how it is. Michigan's more talented, and they're taking it to us right now.
Oh, yeah. It looked like a balloon was deflated. I mean, the
Right.
Western Michigan Wolverines were tough, physical, all over the puck. The second Michigan had the puck, they were sending guys to the puck area, attacking him, making life really hard for the Wolverines. After that Lockwood goal, they put their foot off the pedal. I mean, they really were passive. They weren't using the body as much. Whenever they had the puck, they weren't letting the play develop. They were kind of rushing it, trying to strike lightning whenever they had the puck with their few opportunities they have. Again, really just night and day. Really poor job by the Western Michigan Broncos. I mean, there's only so much you can do against Michigan when Michigan is playing well, but there wasn't much of a response. We really need to see the Broncos step up here if they want to have a shot in this game. Down 2 goals, the worst lead in hockey, but they are on the road in Yost Arena. The crowd's starting to get a little more excited as the Wolverines' play has improved. But if Michigan can set the tone early on in this period, come out firing, guns a-blazing, I really think mentally it's just going to be too much to overcome for the Broncos. They're not the better team. If they play anywhere near they did in the second period, it's not enough to beat Michigan at home. And again, if Michigan is really taking it to them early on, they're just going to bend and break.
I like how you mentioned, we talked about the crowd a little bit earlier in the intermission, and you're about to hear it now here with the Children of Yost a cappella version of the Blues Brothers here in just a second, but just a noticeable difference in just the energy level in the arena from that first to second period. Not only just the section off to our right here with the Children of Yost and the normally rowdy south side of Yost Ice Arena, there was a point in that second period where I thought you easily could have had a holding call on Western Michigan. Michigan almost had another scoring chance. And the entire side off to our left here, the north side of the rink, was up in arms, much more vocal than at any point, any non-goal scoring point in the first period and most of the second also. You got the crowd back into it. You have to feed off it, keep them into it. If Western scores a quick goal here in this third period, I think all bets are off, and that confidence comes right back to the Broncos. They're going to feel a lot better about their chances of tying it up, trying to get a win here at Yost Ice Arena. If Michigan comes out and plays like they did in the second, though, this one's over. Western can play as well as they want. We've said it a couple times already. Michigan is the more talented team. When they play like it, they're going to win. And so far through two periods, it's held true.
Yeah, the crowd now dancing around to the Michigan hockey band. One thing I found very interesting throughout my 2 years so far here at U of N is the Children of Yost student section is probably the best student section out of all the Michigan sporting events.
Oh, no doubt.
They have the most cheers. They're always up. They're always cheering. But it's just such a shame. If the rest of the arena could match the intensity, it'd be impossible to play here. It seems like there is not a single peep from the crowd unless there's a goal, or they'll boo if there's a goal against the Michigan Wolverines. But if they could just match it seems like the team has matched the intensity of the student of Yost right now. If the rest of the stadium could do that right now, I mean, the momentum swings in games would be monumental.
I mean, it is early on in the season. When you get to those rivalry games later on in Big Ten season, you'll definitely see that shift. And this arena will buzz like it always has. It's one of the best venues in college hockey, and getting ready to start the third period here. Alex, fantastic job tonight.
Thank you,
Great to
Falco.
have you on.
Excited. I mean, hopefully they listen to me again like they did last period and keep it up.
Maybe we're too complimentary. We'll have to see this period. They come out a little
maybe
flat.
it only works if I'm critical of them.
Right,
so Michigan, you gotta keep it up. You gotta skate faster here.
All right, that's Alex Shee. You can hear him throughout the season on Michigan Hockey Calls. Another fantastic call from tonight. We'll bring back in Jeremy Parks to start this third period, who was very vibrant in the box, we'll say, during that second period or second intermission there, having a grand old time.
I don't get to sit down in the Children of Yost very often, so I like to take advantage of getting to do the cheers when the opportunity arises. We're out of the scene of most media people tonight, so
Yeah,
I don't need to be judged for enjoying the Blues Brothers song tonight.
Just gotta hope they don't show you on the big screen and
Fair. Also,
ostracize you.
working along with fellow WCBNer Lucas Vargas sitting right across from us in the Children of Yost stand.
I didn't pick him out today. I
Gray
must have missed
sweatshirt about 6 rows up.
Oh,
We
there we
are
go.
just about to drop the puck here in the third period. It's Michigan 4, Western Michigan 2. Shots 23-17 in favor of the Wolverines. 20 minutes to go for Michigan to get their first regular season win, and we are underway. Broncos win the faceoff. As McGing has it. McGing looking for a shot right inside, and a period opening goal from Rushoff. That was quick. 13 seconds in.
Alex Shee and I just talked about if Western Michigan comes out here and scores a goal quick, all bets are off for how this third period's going to go. That second period was obviously completely different than the first. Michigan came out flying. They looked like such a superior team to the Broncos. Western just needed a little bit of hope that they seemed to be lacking at the end of the second, and they got it right away, less than 15 seconds in.
That was easy. Just a little toe drag there from Rushoff, who I've already mentioned. The guy's enormous, 6'7". And he used all of it right there, but a poor giveaway by Western has an open opportunity for Lambert. No penalty call as he was draped like a backpack around there by Conrad. Nothing comes of the one-on-one opportunity on net. As Michigan still has the puck in the offensive zone, it goes back to Griffin Luce at the point. Now Lambert working around behind the net. He goes left, then cuts back right. Puck finds its way back to Luce at the point. Luce tries to make a little dump in, looking for Morgan. Morgan is handled by Samuelson, and it goes out of play. Good point made by WCBNer Alex Drain earlier today. Samuelson was a Michigan target, a Michigan commit who decommitted before heading towards Western, the Buffalo
game.
Sabres graduate.
Revenge series here for Samuelson.
It's all about the revenge week. Revenge tour tomorrow in East Lansing for football. Revenge here on Matthias Samuelson in Yost. Michigan now just a 1-goal lead, 4-3. Almost 2 minutes in here in the third period. Michigan trying to fight the puck out of their own zone. They finally get the clear. As Luke Martin is fighting for it in the neutral zone, he dumps it back to Summers. Summers back passes it. I think he caught Martin off guard a little bit there, and that's going to give Western the opportunity to fight for the puck. 2-on-2, Michigan wins out, but still quite can't get anything moving. A little forechecking pressure here from Western. Try to find a bump pass up towards Pastujov, but can't find him, and so Lee takes it for Western. Tried to set up a nice cross-ice pass there, was Conrad, but it goes wide. As now Mike Pastujov cuts up the ice, and he is cut dead in his tracks. He loses his stick. Big hit there, leveled by Luke Bafia.
Great check. Oh, we got to check on the other end by Lockwood.
Another big head on McMullen. Big hits everywhere. Oh, I think we're going to see some hands.
McMullen not happy. He just slashed Lockwood. Lockwood knows that 100% he got him with that one.
That wasn't even much of a throw. It was just a little hand to the face, a little.
That wasn't even the penalty. It was the slash before.
Right.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to start something. I don't know what else.
So slashing the call, 2 minutes, as McMullen will head to the box. Boy, he took the big hit right at the blue line. For a little guy, Will Lockwood put on a nice hit there.
He did. He's got that leverage. You got to stay low. We're going to hear it a lot during the game tomorrow. You got to get low. Low man wins. Lockwood did there.
Low man tore my ACL. Twice.
Sore spot. I'm sorry.
Josh Norris goes back to Hughes. Hughes goes over to Saccone. Saccone back to Hughes on the right side. As he dumps around, cycling around, finds Norris. Norris looks for Slaker, who's right at an odd angle on the end line. As he cuts back to Hughes. Hughes has Saccone open on the far side. Thought about taking it. Thought for maybe a half second too long. As they still keep possession, it goes back to Saccone. Slap shot, Quinn Hughes just goes wide.
And I don't think that was on Quinn Hughes necessarily taking too long. It looked like the passing lane just wasn't there. It was McGee, or rather McGing, who was in the passing lane the entire time. Are we going to get?
It's going to be an interference penalty probably here on Quinn Hughes. It is delayed penalty, so Western will pull the goalie. It'll go 6-on-5 here for a minute. There's still 1:15 left on the power play right now for Michigan, as finally Saccone rings it in, and we will start some 4-on-4 hockey here.
First time tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Little 4-on-4 action is going to open up, which favors the Wolverines. They are the faster, more skilled team of the two. But still, when playing from in front, you don't necessarily want wide open hockey. You don't want a lot of scoring chances when you're ahead. Try to keep them to a minimum, try to preserve that 1-goal lead.
So it'll be 1:12 of 4-on-4. Should be fun. As Quinn Hughes heads to the box and was actually cross-checking, not interference.
2 minutes either way.
2-minute penalty. Face-off won by the Wolverines. Luke Morgan pushing up ice. Morgan wraps around to the back. Finds a pass for Griffin. Loose shot, score!
That play was all Luke Morgan. He was one that got in the zone, used some quickness, showed a little moves there, got it behind the net, found Loose just streaking right down the left side.
He's Griffin Loose, but the Western D looked very loose itself right there. Shot score Michigan. They get the goal back that they gave up to Rushoff right at the start of the period. Back to a 2-goal lead, 5-3 for the Maize and Blue here with 16:37 remaining in the third period. Call it the goal for Loose. The pass on the assist is going to get credited out.
Should be Morgan.
Believe it was Morgan who was down in there on the backboard.
He was one that carried it in. He made a nice move to get around the D-man for Western and get behind the net, set up that beautiful goal. Beautiful snipe there by Lewis. Not somebody he's necessarily known for.
No, just a little wrister snip. Not too bad. As Michigan has the puck here out of the face-off. They played for a couple seconds in their own zone, and now they push up and dump. Now Passolt bringing it into the attacking zone for Western. He tries to take an odd angle shot, bounces up off the side netting. Luke Martin wins the puck. Slaker goes back for Norris. Couldn't get him in stride, so they'll bring it right back into the defensive zone. Nice touch by Norris to lose his defender there in McGing. As Jake Slaker cuts back. Slaker was looking for Summers, who had an opportunity, and now that's going to give way to a 2-on-1 Western chance. Conrad looking for it. What a poke check away, sliding away by Jake Slaker to stop the open opportunity on net for Western.
Slaker got on his horse. He saw right away there was going to be a 2-on-0 opportunity for a second from the Bronco blue line all the way in, and was able to get exactly, just barely got the poke check in there, but
it was a charging Colt Conrad up towards the left-hand side. Colt was charging, but it looks as though Slaker was the faster horse in that one.
Well played, well played.
It's a horse joke.
I got you.
Face-off won by Western. Lee has it at the point. He tries to take a dump in, but it's blocked away by Van Wy, and that one flies down. Michigan still got 35 seconds to kill now on a disadvantage here. Western trying to get a goal back. They're down by 2. 5-on-4 hockey. Cutter brings it up. Conrad gives it to Cutter. Tries for the wraparound. Decides not to go for it. Goes back to Lee. Lee in between the circles. Takes a little dump pass over to McGing. McGing was looking for Cutter, but he was well in traffic, surrounded by Wolverines as they cut it away. 10 seconds remaining. That should about kill off the penalty.
Yeah, not too much long of a kill there for the Wolverines, but an effective one nonetheless. Just making sure Western didn't get any terribly good looks as they did in the first period.
Chance there for Western as Quinn Hughes was coming out of the box. A nice slap shot that came up from the right-hand circle, and I don't think Levine saw it right away, but it gets up and out of play. 14:49 remaining here in the third period. Michigan leads 5-3, shots 24-21, Wolverines. You're listening to Michigan Men's Hockey on WCBN Sports and the Michigan Student Hockey Radio Network. Jeremy Parks alongside Austin Falco. Alex Shee also in the box with us as the Moose Song plays here.
And Bullwinkle action. I think that came up last night, I believe. We were just talking about little Michigan hockey, little Moose Sieve, Moose Sieve, Moose Sieve.
Indeed we were, yeah.
Last time was definitely going to get the Sieve.
Last night at Good Time Charlie's Village Bar and Grill. Not a sponsor of the program, but essentially a sponsor.
Just a favorite of ours, yeah. I mean, they sponsor us personally. That works for me. Close enough.
Well, so far on the game, there's 14:49 to go, but I'm going to mark your Chi-Chi Salsa Impact Player of the Game going to both the Pastjob brothers.
We're splitting it in half.
By our actual sponsors.
One for each of your favorite flavors of Chi-Chi's salsa.
Mild and hot. Yep. Chi-Chi's, where dinner is as easy as uno, dos, tres. One of our actual sponsors, as Michigan gets it off the faceoff. Becker cutting up, tries to dump a little backhand shot in there. Goes off the side, netting it away, but they get it back to Summers at the point. His centering attempt is knocked away, as now Gallant is going to head up across the blue line with it. 5-on-5 hockey for the first time in a few minutes as Michigan dumps back down to the backboards. Bennett fighting for it there. And now cutting up ice and a chance for Gallant. He goes up high and wide. Couple looks for Western. Just the one goal so far to open the period from Rushoff.
Yeah, that was by far the best look so far. They've had maybe one other A-plus quality chance. Otherwise, haven't quite been able to get it on the same page. Very similar to how Michigan looked in the first period, where they'd have one really good chance, and other than that, can't quite. Such as that last play there, Western, we're getting offsides, heading into the Michigan zone. Just couldn't quite handle the pass. Puck's bouncing around a little bit. I don't know what it is about that side of the ice, but it just seems to be a little bit more bouncy, a little harder to handle the puck on that side.
It was offside against the Broncos. They won the faceoff. They now have it back in their defensive zone. Setting things up here as Schooneman throws it in. Trying to find Cutter down there on the backboards. Can't get there. And it goes back to Matthias Samuelson at the point. Western still working around behind the Michigan goal now. Try to go back to the point again, but Lambert intercepts, and it's going to be 2-on-2. Brendan Warren cutting over to the left-hand side. He's blocked well there by Schoenemann.
Haven't heard a lot from this line yet tonight with Warren, Morgan, and Lambert, aside from Morgan on the 4-on-4 goal.
They've had a lot of minutes. They haven't seen the scoring production, though, as Warren's behind the goal. In there is Van Wy, a couple of penalties on that line. At least the one on Van Wy. I think Ciccone was in the box as well at one point. Lambert brings it up, 3-on-2. Good back check, though, as Hughes is cutting back to the blue line. Not sure what he tried to do there. Was maybe looking for a redirect, but it was quite wide of the goal. Finds a Western stick as they'll move up. Lazy pass intercepted by Ciccone. And the Wolverines turn right back around as Randall comes up. Working the right hand, but he is intercepted by McGing. McGing crossing the blue line. He's already got one goal tonight. He just went high and wide there. Shot back at the point. Boca was blocking the view of Levine, but they still managed to get to that one on a centering attempt.
They were lucky that one was right down the middle and not up near one of Levine's corners. I think we're going to get a boarding call, maybe?
Yeah.
Interference. I'm going to guess interference.
I think interference is going to go against Colt Conrad. Or instead of Conrad, mark it Cam Lee. As the junior out of Ferguson's Cove, Nova Scotia, is going to head to the box for 2 minutes. And a tripping.
Must have happened right behind where I thought the boarding call was.
He took down Josh Norris. 2 for tripping. Another power play opportunity for the Wolverines tonight. This is a very penalty-heavy game.
Very much. And not quite Madison, Wisconsin last season, but
Western 1 for 5 so far. Michigan 3 for 7 on the man advantage tonight.
Granted, one of those for each team was separated by a 4-by-4 opportunity in the middle, which Michigan scored on.
Really, the second and third periods, we haven't seen a lot of 5-on-5 hockey. It's 5-3 with 12:13 to go. Michigan has the face-off in the Western zone. Broncos win it, trying to clear. Ciccone can't keep it in as it bounces up off his stick and into the Western bench, as that'll stop play.
Michigan running that number 1 power play unit out there. I know Hughes and Ciccone were just out on the ice about 30 seconds or so before we got the penalty called. Norris was one that drew the chipping, or really the tripping call. He was fresh onto the ice, though, so shouldn't be too worried about fatigue with this with number 1 power play unit for Michigan.
Michigan gets the puck to Ciccone in the neutral zone as Quinn Hughes brings it back across the Michigan blue line back to the defensive end, and they'll reset. Josh Norris moving up the left-hand side slowly. Tried to find the in-stride Joe Ciccone. Couldn't do it. A nice keep-in by Quinn Hughes, though. Hughes cutting across, tries a shot, goes wide to the right. A nice look for Quinn Hughes, but it goes begging. 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the power play for Michigan.
And Slaker there had a chance to get another high-quality look potentially from Michigan. It looked like Gorish was scrambling a bit in net, but almost didn't decide whether he wanted to pass to Ciccone or Lockwood and put it between the two and went out of the zone.
Lockwood goes down at the blue line trying to keep it in a battle there with Hugh McGing, as now Western cuts up ice. Conrad trying to deke his way to the goal, and he can't do so. Slaker's got him, as the puck eventually winds up at the stick of Quinn Hughes, who's charging forward, finds Lockwood. Lockwood takes a big pop. Choo-choo, the train is coming. Conrad knocks Will Lockwood to the ice. And a nice diving poke check by Lambert to avoid a 2-on-1 opportunity for the Broncos.
And you got to imagine there's a target there on Will Lockwood for that hit earlier.
Boy, he took a shot there. Popped right back up. He's back on the bench, though, as Lambert struggles to keep it in play, and it'll come back as Michigan will reset and bring it in with Nick Boca. Boca goes down deep, fighting there with Bafia, as Boca takes a shot in, tries to redirect on Becker, but it goes wide right. Boca again, cuts it over, back to Lambert, looking away. Boca, Mike Pastujov to Nick Pastujov, back to Mikey, back over to Boca, slapper, just found it at the last second to Gorsuch.
Yeah, Becker out in front again, providing the screen.
Mike tried to dump it in for a redirect, couldn't find anyone. Western will cut away, 2-on-2. Pastujov trying to back check. Boca cuts, slicing, score! Western Michigan, Cam Lee, who just came out of the penalty box, he gets a goal, and the Western Michigan Broncos are back within one. It's 5-4 with 10:03 remaining.
I think that one might have tipped off the stick of Nick Boca. He was going for the block, had that stick out there. We'll get a better look on the replay, but
Let's see what we got. As he cut right across that right-hand circle, yeah, I think he just got kind of jammed up by Boca there, but the puck found its way to the far side and past the blocker of Hayden Levine, who just gave up his 4th goal of the night.
Levine hasn't looked the best, but at the same time, he hasn't been given much help from his defenseman, giving up a lot of open looks, a lot of good high-percentage shots.
Luckily, the offensive production has been there to back him up so far tonight. 5-4 with a little under 10 minutes to go now. Michigan charging up ice. Brendan Warren finds Dakota Raby. Shot, score.
Brendan Warren might have heard me when I said he wasn't on the stat sheet at all earlier on.
Boy, Warren came up that left-hand circle, and he saw a wide-open Dakota Raby on the other side. Goes short side, right past the back of Gorsuch, and seconds after going back to a 1-goal game, minute ago, now we're back to 2.
Been the theme of the 3rd period here. Western gets back in it, starts to creep back in. Michigan starts to close that door just a little bit more. And yeah, that play was all Brendan Warren. Took the shot going on the left side, got blocked, but came right back to him. Sped around, went real deep there. He might have been behind the goal line there before passing it out. Didn't quite see it. It was pretty close. He had Gorish completely committed to the right post before, or rather, Gorish's right side, the left side if you're Brendan Warren.
6-4 now, Wolverines. Shots 28-24 for the Maize and Blue. As Michigan wins the face-off and puts the puck deep. A back pass with no Western players there will allow a couple of Michigan sticks to get there and keep it in play. Van Wy trying to work it around. Can't find Summers back at the point. Now charging forward is Courtnall for Western. Looking for the cross pass to Gallant, couldn't find him. As Gallant goes down behind the play. Moving back up around the point, Luke Martin trying to clear and kept in there by Cam Lee. A nice play, heads up, but he gives it right away to Garrett Van Wy. Bafia chucks it in off the boards so that Western can get a line change here with exactly 9 minutes to play and ticking in the 3rd period. Western down 2 goals, can't seem to make a breakthrough to get back at it.
It looks like every time they get the puck, either Michigan's a little slow getting back or Western just gets on their horses and is flying trying to create opportunities. But as you mentioned, they just can't quite get them. They had one already in this period to start off. And since then, it was almost, I don't want to say a fluke goal, but it wasn't the best shot. It's just shoot at the net and it went in. They're not the greatest chances right here in the 3rd at least. But Western's doing all they can. They're trying to fly down the ice with every opportunity. Can't quite connect. And something to watch out for, though. They are not giving up.
Not yet. 6-4, Michigan leads, 8:43 remaining. Western has the puck in the neutral zone, plays it up across the blue line. Nobody there for it, so Summers will collect and wrap around behind the goal. Good forechecking pressure by Western, but the Wolverines managed to get the puck away and move it up ice towards Josh Norris. Norris loses it, though. As Passault comes up. It gets by Cam Lee's stick, but Slaker not fast enough to get there and create a 2-on-1. Rushoff, who had the period opening goal, takes a little wrister that goes up high and into the back corner glass. 8 minutes to go.
I'm telling you, Rushoff is a specimen out there. You cannot miss him on the ice. He's skating along the blue line. It's almost like an eclipse.
He's just so big, and he's a center.
Exactly.
So he's power.
It's remarkable.
Western's got the puck back deep in their own zone, trying to get a clear. Michigan giving good pressure, though, as Becker wins it back in the corner. Trying to find the back pass to Boca at the blue line, but intercepted, and now Western has a little time to make a move. Cut off at the boards by Pastjov as it goes across to Becker. Bouncing around where it'll be gathered in by Bennett. Kale, named after a vegetable, as it goes up, tipped in to the Michigan zone and brought into play by Quinn Hughes. Hughes moves across as he falls to the ice. Gets it to Lambert, who goes across for Brendan Warren. Now Warren's going to try and fight for it. Tied up along the boards. Saccone goes across to Quinn Hughes. Hughes, he just draws bodies, and it's blocked right away.
When Quinn Hughes gets the puck, it, like you said, just draws bodies. Everybody on the ice's attention immediately turns to him.
Luke Morgan brings it in. The wrister almost went 5-hole, but closed there by Gorsuch. Warren's got it in front. Also tried to go 5-hole and closed again. 2 quick shots for the Wolverines. Good play there by Gorsuch, and now the Western Michigan Broncos will push forward. Cam Lee has it. He's going to barrel right across the Michigan defense. Never really a good idea as he's cut off and the puck is stolen.
Kind of just ran out of steam there. Looked impressive getting around the forwards at least.
Looked like he was going to make that cut right up the gut, but there were 4 men in white waiting for him there as we will have a stoppage in play here with 6:17 remaining in the game. Michigan holding a 2-goal lead, 6-4 over Western Michigan in a shootout here at the Yost Barn.
I mean, Western Michigan has put up some numbers so far this season. 2 goals, 4 goals, 5 goals. Got 4 already here, but didn't necessarily expect them to come out and stick with Michigan if Michigan was offensively.
Going goal for goal under the table. And I think we're going to have a timeout called here now by Western Michigan. Or is it by Michigan?
It'll be Michigan. Michigan just iced the puck, so they need a timeout here. Western used theirs back in the second after Michigan struck with 2 quick ones on the power play to take the lead.
So 1-minute timeout here as Mel Pearson talks to the troops. Close to a sellout crowd here tonight. The far end stands pretty full. It was a little bit more full a while ago. I think a few fans probably headed out after that last Michigan goal.
Yeah, I mean, this one's far from over. As we were talking about, Western not giving up. They're still coming hard with every chance they get. This one, given Michigan's defensive struggles as well, is far from over.
These 2 teams are right back here again tomorrow night at 7:05.
Actually over in Kalamazoo, a little home and home.
Oh, that's
action.
right, that's right. Switching over to, I believe it's Lawson, the Ice Arena in Kalamazoo.
Yep, Lawson Ice Arena.
There is a pair of Western Michigan guys over here in the Children of Yost section wearing their Lawson Lunatic shirts. Probably not going very well for them. As
imagine not very much of all the student sections to go sit in.
Western wins the faceoff. They keep it in the Michigan zone. Matthias Samuelson dumps it deep. Tie up along the boards back in the lower left corner here. Moving around is Luke Martin. He finally finds an outlet with Slaker. Slaker moves forward with Josh Norris. Norris is picked up there by Schooneman and is trapped up on the far side boards. Slaker almost found a back pass there for a charging Norris right in the crease, but just not fast enough as the paddle from Gorsuch knocks it away.
With a little better timing, that's an absolutely gorgeous look.
Griffin Luce just put Schooneman on his butt and stood right over him, a la Kobe.
A little hard to walk over him when you're on the ice, but
he's that big. As Griffin Luce will throw it up the ice, and an icing call will come here, no touch. 5:12 remaining in the 3rd period. Still 6-4 here on WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan hockey and the Michigan Student Hockey Radio Network.
Wolverines got to make sure not to get too complacent here. 2-goal lead, everybody knows, the most dangerous lead in hockey. Get a little false sense of security. The defensemen not hopping in like they were earlier, which you don't necessarily need to with a 2-goal lead, but you got to make sure you're not on your heels. You got to make sure you're at least ready to attack if need be. And you won't get caught off guard by kind of getting stuck flat-footed in your own zone.
Puck flies up and out of play, dangerously close to the fans. Always got to keep your head up. A trio of girls show off their finding.
They're wearing Western Michigan colors. I don't know who they're rooting for. I can't quite tell. Children of Yost, not with the normal hold it up chant. I'm a little disappointed. I tried it earlier to no avail, so maybe they're a little bit jaded as Western wins the puck, brings it all the way back into their own defensive zone.
Trying to clear, but the pass finds Becker right at the blue line, and he looked for Nick Pastujov, couldn't find him over on the odd angle shot, as McGing will cut up, move forward, dump for Conrad, trying to find Rushoff in front. Boy, you can't miss him. As Pastujov is laying on the puck, Mike up along the boards, and that'll stop play. And now some pushing and shoving is standing over a Western player who was down.
Defending his brother.
Nick Pashioff just wouldn't let him get back up. So little extracurricular, but nothing too big. 4:37 remaining in the third period. Nothing will ever beat the end of the Ohio State game here. I believe it was 2 years ago.
I think it might have been 3 at this point.
Might have been 3 now, when I was calling with Morse Fabry upstairs. And right as the whistle blew, all hell broke loose. And I remember Cutler Martin sandwiching a referee and throwing punches right on a Ohio State helmet. I believe he was suspended 5 games for that incident.
I think it might have been 4. I don't think it was very many.
One of them was
all.
the national team game, the development exhibition.
Right.
So
I think he missed the
that was a
GLI
great
that
fight.
year. That is what it was.
Yeah, it was close too. That was a great fight.
Oh, that was that was something.
It was about 6 different fights.
After a real scrappy, hard-fought game, Michigan, Ohio State. I mean,
Wolverines won.
It's not just on the football field.
Yep.
It's all over the place.
They head back to their locker rooms on different sides of the ice, but they didn't get that far.
Nope. Not even close.
A dust-up.
That was more than a dust-up. That's like an all-out tornado or something.
I just remember the Morris Fabry call of, Cutler Martin's got a referee!
You can find that on youtube.com/WCBN Sports. Go back digging in the archives. Michigan versus Ohio State hockey. You can't miss it. Skip towards the end of the game if you want. If you want to listen to the whole thing, it was a great game. Fantastic game. The atmosphere was amazing. I remember sitting over in the stands over here on the south side of the rink.
We're back to play here after the ice crew came for a clean-off with 4:34 remaining in the third period. Western won the face-off. They've got it in the Michigan zone. Trying to wrap around the backboards, intercepted by Quinn Hughes as he looks up ice for Raby, just can't get it to his stick. Intercepted there by Cale Bennett. Paddled away by Levine. He was trying to find Brendan Warren, but it'll stay in Western's possession as Michigan finally wins it back. Quinn Hughes all over the place, as usual tonight. Back pass to the blue line, finds Cale Bennett. Passolt can't get anything on it as he was coming up close towards the goal. And Brendan Warren will now skate up, dump, and change. 3:50 to go. You wonder if Western will maybe pull the goalie around the 2-minute mark here, down 2.
That's what I would think. I mean, it kind of varies based on coach, how aggressive you want to be.
It was always the 2-for-2 model. 1-for-1, 2-for-2. Western has the puck, though. They still have a chance to get another goal at even strength here. Would really help the case as Matthias Samuelson has it.
They're putting the pressure on.
Gets a hand in from McGing. Griffin Luce puts him up into the boards. Samuelson has it again. Puts it down low. Looking for Rushoff. McGing back behind. This has really been the good line for Western tonight. They need him to get some points here. Looking right in front for the slot, trying to find Rushoff. Couldn't find him. Big shot up off the boards.
Oh, hey, that one hit iron.
Ooh, didn't quite hear it. It bounced, but a nice slap shot again there is saved by Hayden Levine, and Rushoff getting into it with Josh Norris. McGing was the one who had the shot that drew the save, and 2:55 to go here.
And McGing with a little ping off the crossbar. Beat Hayden Levine over glove side, and Hayden Levine thanking that post right now.
Didn't really sound like iron. It sounded more like a glass hit to me.
It hit real flush.
Yeah.
It hit real. It wasn't one of those glancing blows. You get a nice, loud, high-pitched ping. It hit real flush off that crossbar. Bounced straight back out.
Well, like we said, it's the danger line for Western, and nearly drawing them back within 1 there then.
They've looked good all night. I mean, Rushoff with McGing on the ice. I like they had Conrad also, a couple centers both out there.
Michigan trying to finish this one off to go to 1-1. The number 11 ranked Wolverines trying to get a top 20 win against Western, who's crept up to 19 coming into tonight's game.
A little early to look at your pairwise rankings. That need a little bit more of a sample size for that, but winning over a team like Western certainly can't hurt.
And this is a Michigan team that I think is still finding its legs a little bit. A lot of youth trying to figure out how to play one another. As Alex Strain brought up a minute ago in our group me messages, something that I thought about a little early in this game as well. This feels a lot like the Wolverines team of 2 years ago, where it's essentially outscore the opponent
Yep.
at any cost. And if you can't get 6 goals a game, then you're not going to win.
Yeah, definitely need to work on the defensive aspect of the game. Everybody seems a little bit slow getting back. It's
back to the CCM line heyday.
That was a season. Oh, boy.
2:53 to go. Wolverines have the puck off the face-off. Western has pulled the goalie. So a chance for Michigan to put it away if they get possession, but Cam Lee will take a little low shot there. Didn't quite get it well enough. Dancing around back behind the goal is DiPietro. Gets it back to Lee in the circle. Lee goes back around. DiPietro trying to find something. Can't quite get there. Western still keeps the puck, though. Lee back at the point. Takes a slapper, knocked away by Morgan. Morgan will give chase to Lee. Net still empty. 2:21 to play. Knocked away.
Becker out there. He deserves a goal if he can get the possession of the puck.
Lee moving back. Couple opportunities in front. Score, Western. Cam Lee with the shot from the left circle as it gets by on Hayden Levine, and pulling the goalie works for Western there as they get their 5th goal of the game, but somehow they're still down 1.
Cam Lee, that entire possession looked like the guy for Western. Took a couple real hard slap shots to get things started right at the top of the point.
Played up.
And right
Yep.
there, then slumped down near the goal line and somehow found a little bit of a crease above Levine's stick side shoulder, short side.
Had a nice keep in.
Tucked it in. Yeah, also had the nice keep. Was the one to go chase it back down and bring it back in. That was a very much
Looks like
a
we're
Cam Lee possession.
looks like we're gonna have a review. Not sure what for. I don't think it went in off a skate or anything like that. I don't think there was any goalie interference. Nothing.
I think it tucked itself in the corner there and popped right back out, so they're just making sure that it did indeed hit the net, and they do
Yep,
confirm.
good goal. Okay. Worry there for a second for some of the Western fans right across from us here on the center ice line. What a game we've had here in a shootout at Yost. 6-5 with 2:11 to play. And Western's going to have to pull Gorsuch again, presumably after they win this faceoff.
You still got 2 minutes, and now you're only down 1. You could probably
Maybe play 30 seconds.
wait to see if you can get solid possession of the puck. I was going to say about 30 seconds or so.
We'll see what they opt to do. I think a lot of it will have to do with the faceoff here. Michigan has won the faceoff battle 39-27 tonight. Make it 40-27 as they win that one. They force Gorsuch back behind his own net. Good forechecking pressure there by Will Lockwood. Forces a bad pass as Norris gets it. Wolverines dancing around. This will keep Gorsuch in the net for a little while. Goes back around. Norris will give chase and then lights off. Western's got to do something here in a minute. Just dancing around, waiting to set it up. 1:43 and ticking to go. Matthias Samuelson pushes forward, slices defenders, and dumps it back for Conrad. Trying to wait long enough to clear the goalie, and they do. Gorsuch is out of the net. He is back on the bench. Quinn Hughes has the puck. Schooneman with a kick pass. Cotter trying to take a shot as it gets deflected up and out of play.
I think it was Ciccone there with the good stick. Cotter was about to have a shot from right in the slot.
It's going to keep Michigan on their toes here. The net will stay empty, but it'll be a face-off in the Michigan defensive zone. Coming right down to the wire here. Western will have another chance of 6-on-5 in the Michigan zone.
And I'm not sure if this is necessarily, I guess they switched up the lines now. They still have Norris out there do the Wolverines for the face-off.
Norris will face Conrad in the circle. Conrad wins it. Goes back to Cam Lee, who just scored a moment ago. He's dancing around. Warren trying to get a poke check in. Goes back to DiPietro behind the net. Puck working its way around Rushoff, that big body in front, scaring everybody. Puck is away. Back towards the Western zone. Giving chase back is Frank. I don't think Dakota Raby will give him too hard of a chase as it's dumped back for Lee. A minute to go. Western pushing up. Siccone's got it. Might have tried to dump it in and looking for Raby. Can't quite find it. It's icing.
I think he was trying to hit Warren here along the boards around center ice.
Might have just been worth it to take the dump on his own, but with 51.2 remaining, it's going to come back to Michigan's defensive zone as the goal will stay empty on the far end for the Broncos, looking for that tying 6th goal. 6-5, shots 30-27 in favor of Michigan.
Luke Morgan had a big play earlier when he carried in on 4-on-4 and found loose for what's right now the game-winning goal, if I'm not mistaken, or rather Dakota Raby later on.
It's going to be Cutter against Morgan. Cutter wins it. Goes back to Cam Lee at the point. DiPietro intercepted by Raby. Can't quite get it. Brendan Warren's got it. Can he take the shot on? Blocked away by Cam Lee. 40 seconds to go. Michigan just can't put it away. McGing has it. Goes cross ice for Conrad. Conrad cutting in. Good play by Quinn Hughes to block him away. 28 seconds. Dakota Raby trying to give the forechecking pressure coming right off the bench is Josh Norris as he gives a poke check. Brendan Warren gets in there. Got to be careful with the penalty playing like that. Cam Lee's got it behind the blue line. 14 seconds. Do or die time for Western. Blocked away, and now Rushov's going to have a chance. Game-tying, or game-saving block by Saccone. 3. And the whistle. And a penalty.
We're going to get a trip here.
Tripping call, and it's going to be 2.8 seconds left with 5 on 4, or make it 6 on 4. So basically win the face-off, take the quick shot.
You could not call that one. Brendan Warren going for the poke check, just trying to chip it out, stop Western's momentum getting into the zone there, because they did have numbers with Rushev leading the way. Got a big body, almost like a lead blocker coming into the zone. And
it has been a shootout of a game, and it's going to come right down to the final face-off here with 2.8 to play. Cotter is going to take it up against Josh Norris, it looks like. DiPietro is behind. Conrad is behind. Rushoff is looking to get in front. And the faceoff's won by Western. Conrad takes a dump, couldn't find the redirect, and that's the buzzer. They did what they needed to do, couldn't find the last tip in, and Michigan will survive the night. 6-5, what a game.
And I'll say that last little opportunity there, I don't think Hayden Levine saw that shot either. All night long he had trouble seeing pucks headed towards the net. A lot of screens from Western, a lot of screens from zone defenders. And if Western had gotten that one close to being on net, would have had a real good shot at tying this one up and going to OT.
There have been some calls for Strauss Mann and Jack Levy to see some time in net. We'll see how that plays out, but as we said, these two teams will see each other at Lawson tomorrow night in Kalamazoo at 7:05, but Michigan wins the day today, 6-5 your final. The Wolverines advance to 1-1 on the season. They avenge their loss to Vermont in the opener and a victory at Yost for the first time in the 2018-19 campaign. Falco, your final thoughts on this one?
I mean, a much-needed victory. At the end of the day, it does come out as a win, but we talked a little bit. The defense, not the best in this one. That second period was about as complete as they've played all season, but they couldn't extrapolate it to either of the bookend periods, the first or the third. And that's something to watch. They're still have a lot of young talent, still need to find some more consistency. If they can do that, we could be looking at a great team, like the team we saw in the second period. But ultimately, if you're going to play like you did tonight, probably not going to fly in Big Ten season. Was enough to get the W against Western Michigan tonight, though.
As the Wolverines will meet up at center ice, bang the sticks. It's a home win for the Wolverines, and they will be in action tomorrow night. You can also catch the Michigan State football game with us on WCBN Sports tomorrow. That kick is at noon. I'll be live in East Lansing with Alex Drain, Daniel Thompson, a couple of others that I'm forgetting at the moment, and that'll do it for us here at Yost.
Any predictions for that game real quick? I know she and I gave ours pregame.
I said 28-7 earlier today. I'll stick by that.
All right.
In favor of the Wolverines. We'll see how it fares tomorrow, but a big top 20 win on the hockey rink tonight for Michigan. That'll do it for us here from Yost. Your final score, Michigan 6, Western Michigan 5. Again, a big thanks to Nabil Baig, who in-studio engineered until 9 o'clock on 88.3 FM. Big shout-out to Alex Shee, Austin Falco. Great partners up in the booth tonight. I'm Jeremy Parks. As always, we'll leave you with a good night and a Go Blue.